Excelente. Okay, that's why there was no audio.
Okay.
So nobody heard anything we said.
Good.
Oh, that's fine. I'm okay with this.
Cool.
Hey, Reb, you want to do the show not next week, but the week after? Was it the 20-something?
I like how you refer to yourself in the third person.
Now they know.
Susan's mom left. Or
I know, right? Oh no, there she is.
F this. Petey.
Excellent. We have 2 Turpins, a Rebel, a Petey, and a Geek. Okay, cool.
Actually, I think both of the Turpins are geeks also, just not...
And Rebels.
Not by handle.
Where did you...
No, only one.
Where all did you post it?
COR, Atheist Airwaves, Illuminati. Oh, I didn't do it on the,
CCM?
Yeah.
So you Geek?
Hmm? Yes.
Yes.
That's right.
Cha-cha-cha-cha-cha.
Pop filter. No pop filter.
Okay.
No, but I took that one just because I was trying to leave slots for Jeff if he wanted them, and I was trying to make it spaced out so it wasn't just, you know, one person after introducing multiple things in
Yeah.
a row, and yeah.
Oh, and again, if you want to cut out the Saturn story, since it was actually from
Which one is the Saturn story?
Baby
The
Moon.
Baby Moon story.
Okay.
It's interesting.
Although-
I can say something about it, but it's not like the article was published over a month ago, or almost a month ago.
I only read the ones I'm introducing.
Oh my god, your mom just multiplied. Your mom cloned.
What?
I think in all technicality that happened when my sister and I were born.
Well, she just did it again. You want to look at the levels again?
No. Okay, yeah, we got levels.
I'm just okay. Good. I just
They're
want to
a
make
little
sure
high
that,
further back, but
that was when we were all laughing
Laughing.
together. That's fine. That's a good level for everyone going.
I think this looks good.
Acting like nut jobs.
Hmm.
How is it? We have 7 minutes to go and there's nothing
I
wrong.
know,
I don't know, guys. They still haven't replied to us having audio.
Yeah, that's true.
God damn it!
Am I invisible?
Why is English so hard for you people? Answer the fucking question.
We're not getting a reply. Excellent.
Yay!
Yay!
Thank you.
Odie is the best. So now you clone yourself another 1,000,000 times and take over the planet.
Why are there? Why?
We're toning down the F words.
Why is there?
It's pre-show!
I know, but pre-show bleeds into show.
Right.
Ah,
Bleeds
don't
into
censor me,
show.
man.
You can ramp up into the post show.
Okay, that I will
Exclamation sensor on studio.
accept. Just for Turpin.
Exclamation sensor on.
Why are you? Why is this person speaking random letters?
French.
Things
He's writing an essay in the French.
in the French. I don't know those words.
Sacre bleu, I have yeast. I don't know if it actually posted. Okay, it did post.
Okay, I'm gonna do this thing where I'm gonna kill this right now.
Killed that, yeah. I would kill it again until we're ready to go.
No.
We got another 5 minutes.
No, I'm gonna forget. I know my memory.
Yeah,
Alright.
true.
Nine what?
And now
9 tails on the cat?
Revan's speaking German.
Wait, do I have powers to do things here?
No.
Oh, this is good.
Damn it! What have I done?
Why did you do that?
Ah, I can do things! Excellent. Redacted.
Did you just kick someone?
No, I just removed his comment. I saw a little red X and I was like, I have power to do things.
Oh.
What does this button do?
I love how like I've been doing that for the better part of like 5 months, 6 months, and never noticed. But day one, not even a half
Jay's
an
gonna
hour
mess
in,
with him.
and
Jay's
you're
gonna
like-
mess with everything. He's just gonna be like, what does this one do? What does this one do?
This is why I'm good at learning things I'm not
Jay-
supposed to learn.
Jay presses all the buttons. That's
Bow chicka bow wow?
Ah!
Yeah, do what I can.
Ryan is. I'm totally kicking you
I'll
out.
tell you what you can do. Uh-oh, wait. Her Highness probably has powers too. So everybody say nice things about
This
us. Like,
bitch!
yeah, that's no. That's what happens to me every week. Every time Leslie logs on because she kicks us off.
Why?
Because she's logging on as an administrator, and so it knocks us off.
Leslie, quit being a hoe bag.
It took me a few weeks to realize that that was what was happening.
Oh well, I don't care.
Okay, you can go back.
I don't know how. So it's okay.
Oh. Why did we give Leslie power?
Because she just takes it if you don't give it to her.
Yeah, good point.
And so better to seem
So
like
much
a
more,
good guy.
so much more painful that way.
That really doesn't sound very consensual, guys.
It's not.
Really not. It's really, really not. I was like, I have an email. Oh, it's the Atheist Airwaves stream just went live. That's cool.
So yeah, 2 minutes. You're doing this thing?
How? Yeah, I got that thing.
How? Because
we-
I'm
how
behind
are
the
we-
fucking controls now.
It's not my fault. It's not my fault.
No, it's always your fault.
Turn these off.
Yes,
Oh,
good call,
yeah.
Garcia.
And I'm gonna like.
Don't electrocute yourself turning the light on.
I got my insulin pump came in the mail yesterday.
How? What?
Can
how
we
does that
censor
work?
out insulin in that and
What?
cut in a different
My-
word?
Oh.
My labia pump came in the mail
Is that,
yesterday.
is that a thing, or you
I
just
don't
make that
know. I
up?
just made that up.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think it's a thing.
The light switch is on the wall. It's recessed.
Oh, I was just unplugging.
Oh, okay, yeah, that works too. Unplug all the things. It's so quiet now.
Is that it?
Yep, that's it. Thank you, sir, for remembering a thing.
That's about all I can be trusted with.
A thing?
That's the one for the show.
That's why
One
I,
thing.
that's why I only handle my own stuff. They don't let me handle anything else.
Versus Moses.
No other responsibility.
I don't know.
That's
I
funny.
hate all of you.
Come on. Everybody handles their own stuff.
Every single week, I think I'm gonna go. I fucking hate you people. Sorry.
But we're backing off the F word,
I'm
so you're not
trying.
going to say that.
I'm trying.
Post show.
Right?
Right. As soon
You
as
can-
it ends, I'm just
you're
gonna
right.
release a barrage of curses.
I fucking hate you
Just
guys.
open. Bam.
All right. Also,
This is good. I can watch levels while I do this. This is fucking excellent. This is.
Ah!
Sorry.
backing off the F word, man. Come on.
Right thing.
Can you check my? I just want to look at my levels real quick. I just want to make sure if I'm talking like this. All right, cool. Where did the? Hold on. Can you look? Oh, what's the? Where's the? The cam I think is all shifted.
Yeah, because Rip was just like, I'd rather have a video feed of Turpin than Grime.
Turpin and Grime. Turpin and Grime. Alright. It's the Turpin and Grime time. I'm ready to go when you are.
All right. Everyone hush, please. We can't really mute the way we used to. I mean, you can try it, but it doesn't really work.
Why not?
And if you do 4 fingers so that you don't have to... Yeah.
Why doesn't it work?
I don't know. I think it works. They can't hear us in the chat room, but it keeps going to your computer.
Alright, sure. Let's do this thing.
All right. Okay, why isn't this working? Okay, there it is.
Mike, Rachel.
You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
No matter what side of the debate you're on, there's no denying that prayer is a centuries-old tradition in our government, going back to the Founding Fathers. This week's decision allows that tradition to continue.
Let us pray.
It's not an unfamiliar tradition to open up a government meeting with an invocation.
God, we thank you for this new day.
And we ask all this through Christ our Lord.
Lord, in Jesus' name, amen.
The Founding Fathers approved of the practice, and now the Supreme Court does too. And that's a decision that some locals are disappointed with.
The idea of invocations is something that was used in epic poetry, and I think that's where it belongs. I don't think it belongs in front of the legislature. Do it in church.
Atheists are great people. Great people.
This is God's country. Get those signs down. Get them down. Evil will happen in Corpus Christi. Get them down.
And welcome to Atheist Airwaves on Secular.fm, your source for a secular perspective on news, religious idiocy, and despicable hilarity. I'm Jay Guerrero.
I'm Christian Ferris.
I'm Jeff Grime.
And I'm Susan Turpin. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter by searching for Atheist Airwaves. We record live every Thursday at 7:30 Central, so if you're listening via podcast, we encourage you to join us in the Ustream chat room and catch all the really fun things we probably shouldn't say.
So our intro audio this week is a local news report from here in Corpus Christi, featuring our own Jeff Grime.
Woo-hoo.
And good job this week.
Yes.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Very impressive.
I know they can only show like 10 seconds of what was probably at least a 5-minute interview.
It was at least a 20-minute interview.
Oh, wow.
She spent a lot of time with me. She said she wanted to understand really the entire opinion, and we sat and talked for a good long while. I think she took the more interesting parts of the discussion and left out all the legal analysis and stuff. She did ask a lot of questions about it. She was interested.
I think that, like some of the recent stories they've done, including our group, they have definitely had an anti-us position, but it wasn't as unfair as it could be. Mm-hmm. So
true.
While they showed 2 clips of you, we just listened to one. I think they were good clips. They were at least representative of what I would want to say. The second one that we didn't get to hear was you talking about how young people are losing their religion, which I thought was great to get into this thing.
Okay, so let me take this back just a second, because let's just explain to Jay on 2-year-old terms. Okay, let's talk about this whole court ruling.
Sure. The court case was an anti-legislation, anti-prayer in a legislative body. It came out of a city council deal, and I think it's in New York. And what the deal was there is that they had for 8 years had a pastor of the month come in and lead with the prayer, and the pastors that they brought in quite often mentioned Jesus Christ and Lord's name and things like that. And the way that the previous understanding of the Supreme Court was, the Supreme Court rulings on legislative prayer was, hey, you can have prayer because it's rooted in tradition, but you don't want to make it
denomination.
You don't want to have any sectarian stuff there. So they cut that you can mention God, but not a specific God or deity.
Sure.
And this ruling pretty much knocked that down and said, no, you can mention any deity.
Yeah. And this was really egregious. This was the town of Greece. Mm-hmm. They had traditionally, up until 1999, just started their town hall meetings with a moment of silence, which I think is great, which is what they should do. So people who want to pray can pray. People who don't can just sit there or or think about what they're there for and center themselves, whatever.
Or boobs. You can think about boobs.
Yeah. That would be a good thing to think about.
Okay.
I find that very cool.
It centers me.
Yeah.
That's right.
But in 1999, a new town supervisor took over, John Ottelberger, and he insisted that it had to be a prayer. And from 1999 until 2007, just coincidentally, every single person invited to give the prayer was a Christian.
Of course.
Then they got in trouble, and the suit was brought by a Jew and an atheist. So it was not just atheists versus Christians; it was multi-faith effort to knock that down. Once that started happening, then they said, "Ooh, we better have some other people in here so that we can say, oh, it's not just Christians. Yesterday we had one guy."
But just the one guy.
Right. So then that got old after 2 years, and in 2009 they went back, and ever since it's been back to Christian.
Okay, so let's talk a bit about why, or what we think the lasting impacts of this ruling could be. I mean, obviously it sets precedent.
Sure, and it also it erodes what the understanding of that precedent of the previous precedent was. The idea that, well, it's okay to have certain mentions of God or whatever as long as you do it in a non-sectarian way. And now, I think it opens the door for it to go further. I hate to say, hey, this is a slippery slope, but I really think that the current Supreme Court that we have, which is really, really, really super conservative, especially on this issue, and this is one of the things I mentioned in the interview. This Supreme Court is 6 Catholics, 3 Jews.
I mean, the last one that was really standing in the way was Sandra Day O'Connor, was she not?
Yes, and she was a moderate. And usually the way O'Connor went, the court went. And since she was replaced, it's been super conservative. Right now, the most swing vote is Kennedy, and he's always come down pretty hard on the religious side. So, in terms of the atheist stuff, not just the conservative stuff, it's pretty bad.
I got interviewed by KRIS not too long ago about the same issue, and one of the things that I told them was, whether it's constitutional or not, I think it's just respectful to be inclusive of everybody. So whether you're allowed to exclude all other faiths or no faith at all, to me should be irrelevant. Just out of respect and inclusion of all citizens, you should really just moment of silence. I don't even like the non-sectarian prayer thing, because it excludes us, and it also excludes polytheists, people who believe in more than one God. Because if you're just saying God, 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 there are people who believe in pantheons.
Yeah.
Sure.
And what really gets me about this is, of course, the story on Facebook on the KRIS page completely just blew up. And the way that it seems to me is that it's really just trying to push any sort of religious minority further to the fringes and try to make it so that they make us feel bad for being like, hey, we're not okay with this. And there's always just a lot of just making us the bad guys.
Being shamed,
Has anyone seen the video of the Hindu man? I think that was an old video, because I think I recall seeing it a while ago, like a couple of years ago maybe.
It was an old video. I posted that in reply to one of them, and then it started
I did it a few times.
It ended up getting posted in a lot of different places, and then in other ones.
Can you explain briefly what I'm talking
please
about?
Do,
what that was, I think it was 2012. It was the first time that a Hindu was asked to come in and lead the Senate in their opening prayer. And there were 3 Christians that happened to be there. They knew that this was going to be happening. What they said in later interviews was, "Hey, we were hoping that one of the senators was going to stand up and challenge this guy coming in and leading the prayer." And when he went up to speak, each of them in turn stood up and started praying. And praying super loudly and talking about how, save us from these heathens and blah, blah, blah.
Lord Jesus Christ, making sure that it's denominational.
It was really a sad display. They had to kick them each out. One of them was a girl that was probably 14, 15 years old. Yeah. And after her pastor and her father had been arrested, they ended up arresting her too, because she's up there disrupting the Senate.
Yeah.
I can't
Wow.
imagine. First of all, I mean, even if I believe that stuff, I can't imagine putting my daughter in a position where she's being arrested in the Capitol. Because they're not going to be able to take her to the same place the parents going.
No.
I mean,
No.
that's
Yeah,
that's
that's a scary prospect.
Sure.
But this goes right back to what we were talking about, I think, last show, how Christians are not interested in religious liberty, except as it applies to them. They don't want prayer in schools. They want their prayer. They don't want religious freedom. They want religious freedom for
Themselves and
Christians.
only themselves. Yeah.
And actually, I think that they probably are going to get... I think they probably bit off more than they could chew with this one, because this really opens the door for the same kind of thing that we see in Oklahoma City with the Satanism statue.
Yeah, the garage sale.
Because that's exactly what the Supreme Court suggested in this one. Hey, if you're catering to one denomination, then that's going to be a problem, especially if it goes to the point of it being proselytizing.
Yeah.
So if other people want to come up and lead these invocations, I think that a city council or any other legislative body is going to have to think seriously before they start denying people, because it's going to open themselves up for litigation on it. So that's a possible avenue on it. I did certainly see some atheist responses being along those lines. Look, we need to ally ourselves with other faiths there that aren't represented and go in and ask for our permission. Ask for our permission to give atheist invocations.
Yeah.
Ask and make sure that other religions also ask to be represented. I think if that's done enough, that might be one path towards getting rid of it.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
And I think if we kind of realize that, I mean, yes, a lot of the times atheists are very much sort of demonized and everything. It's not just about us. It's about Jewish people. It's about Hindus. It's about Buddhists. It's about everybody who is not being equally represented. As much as people want to say, oh, well, religious freedom, blah, blah, blah. But it's really not.
Absolutely.
We really saw this happen in Louisiana when they passed that bill that says public taxpayer money can go towards religious schools, and it wasn't until after it passed and it started flowing to Muslim schools that the Christians were like, "Whoa! I would
That's
have
not what we meant."
I wouldn't have done.
We meant us.
I wouldn't have done this if I had known that a bunch of Muslims were going to get this catch. I thought it was only going for Christians.
Yeah.
And so I think that is the path. I think the Satanic Temple is on the right track. I'm not sure how I feel about trolling as a weapon, but in this case, I think that is the response to a certain extent. Although it doesn't have to be, to Jeff's point, it doesn't have to be trolling, because we can help out Wiccans in Corpus Christi and say, hey, we want to help you out. We'll add our voices to your voice and get you to say your little pagan prayer in the city council and see how they like it.
Yeah, and I'd actually like to point out that Dare Greatly in the chat room said, I can get us some pagans with their clothes on.
That's a rare thing.
I guess it is. I'm not that familiar with paganism, so I don't really know.
It's not that rare, but there's definitely a thing.
There's a lot of nudity involved, I guess.
Can we get the non-clothed kind? Just, I'm
sure she can. Yeah.
Oh, wait. No. But seriously, tell the city council it's part of my religion. I have to give the prayer
completely naked,
and it has to be like some old fat hairy dude. That will change. They will change their mind that quick.
No, it's got to be a woman.
No.
Too prurient. You got to get an old fat guy whose like gut is hiding his penis. That's what we need.
That is the second time I've heard that word prurient, like this week.
What word?
That's
What was
amazing.
Prurient?
Prurient, yeah. Being like
Puritanical?
No, like being obsessed with sexuality.
Spell it
I
for
believe.
me. Spell it.
P-R-U-R-I-E-N-T?
Really? That's
Yay!
weird.
I won the spelling bee when I was in 5th grade.
So did I. No, I was 5th grade. Whatever. So okay.
All right, I'm gonna skip a story if that's all right, and we'll come back to it.
Sure.
Because I think this leads directly into what happened in Alabama this week. Alabama Chief Justice Roy Moore, who is the guy who did not want the Ten Commandments monument at his courthouse removed, and was actually removed from office and then reinstated later, but removed from office because he was rejecting a federal judge's instruction to remove that as unconstitutional. This week, he declared that the First Amendment only applies to Christians.
So
nice.
Yeah, because that's exactly what we were just saying.
Right.
It's case in point.
It's the religious freedom only if it's my own religion. And it's just such a blatant disregard for
Everyone
anything.
else?
Yeah, well, everyone else and anything having to do with the Constitution. And that's really, really unsettling to me.
Yeah.
It really is.
I agree. Let me read some of his remarks here. So he made these remarks at the Pastor for Life luncheon, which was sponsored by Pro-Life Mississippi, of course. He said that the First Amendment only applies to Christians because, quote, Buddha didn't create us, Muhammad didn't create us, forgetting that Muhammad was a prophet of the God of the Holy Scriptures, which he says did create us. He also says that they didn't bring the Quran over on the pilgrim ship. Let's get real. Let's go back and learn our history. Let's stop playing games.
Okay,
Let's
so
go back
let's
and learn our history.
Right. So why is it again that we came over?
Maybe having to do with religious freedom and persecution.
Maybe a little bit.
Only for Christians.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
No, but that's a really good point, because what actually happened, they didn't want religious freedom. They came over here expressly for the purpose of, they were getting beat up in England, and they came over here to say, we're going to be the ones doing the beating up. It's going to be our way or the highway. We're going to find a new way where we can be the bullies. So, that's historically accurate. The other thing that I kind of devil's advocate kind of thing, they are correct that they did pray in Congress from before we actually won the revolution. So I was looking it up today, and the first prayer in Congress was in 1774. So this is a tradition of our country. How do you react to that?
I have to think on that one for a
My
second.
reaction is that tradition doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I think that anybody looking to define the Constitution by looking towards original intent has to recognize also that we've forgotten about original intent, and it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I mentioned this in the responses on Facebook to this on the KRIS page. Original intent, that our founding fathers in a lot of ways were not the people that we want to be. They were slave owners, they were racists, they were misogynists, and I think we've surpassed that. If we're going to look at everything through their glasses, we're going to have a much nastier world and a much nastier interpretation of the Constitution than what we want. We have to look at it with a modern mindset. And there are different ways of looking at it. One of them is that original intent way, which wasn't a big thing until it was kind of a Robert Bork thing, and we all rejected him back when Reagan was president. He was kept out of being he was one of the first ones that really got attacked by Democrats and kept out of the office because saying, hey, that dude's nuts. But just a few years later, Scalia was nominated and he made it.
Right.
Thomas is even worse than Scalia. And that's really gotten this idea of going back to an original intent. But the reality of it is that this has their readings of it really have very little to do with the original intent. It's just like trying to read the Bible and make an interpretation based off of it. They're really interpreting the Constitution the way they want to. They're injecting their own biases in it, but they're using original intent as a reason to explain those biases and to excuse them.
Yeah, I like that point, especially looking back. We owned slaves. Women weren't allowed to vote.
Yes. I never thought about those things. That's a really good point.
Yeah.
I've never looked at it from that perspective. That's really, really poignant.
So many people try to talk about, oh, well, this is what the founding fathers wanted, and, this is a Christian nation, and they do completely disregard the fact that, let's see, a good majority of them were deists. And the ones who were actually part of churches only did it because it was expected of them in society, and they were really apathetic about it.
My big thing is that most Christians today don't understand what a deist is.
Yeah.
They also don't understand that the Christians in our founding fathers who were Christians would not recognize their Christianity.
Oh,
They
no.
would
Oh,
be like,
no.
dude, you're crazy. I
Yeah.
have no idea what you're talking about.
More than likely, and I mean, even less from the perspective that you guys are talking about. The fact that the original intent may have been one thing, but when they sat down and wrote the Constitution, they sat down and they thought these things out. They said, okay, maybe that wasn't necessarily the right way. This is what we want it to look like. This is how it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
Right. I actually had a lawyer arguing with me in that chat about the phrase separation of church and state, and he argued that, hey, look, if separation in church and state were meant to be in there, that's something that we came up with later. Really, it was James Madison who came up with that.
Yeah.
James Madison and Thomas Jefferson. James Madison, the strongest. James Madison's interpretation of the Bill of Rights was, hey, that establishes this wall of separation.
Yeah.
He coined that term. He explained that he was the one who actually proposed all 10 of the First Amendments that comprised the Bill of Rights. I think, if anybody knows what the intent of those were, it's the guy, who proposed them. So I didn't point that out to him because I was arguing, hey, look, we need to ignore this, this originalist frame. But really, if you want to go back to it, hey, James Madison is the one who coined that term, and his opinion was there's a wall of separation here, and the state has the government needs to stay out of religion, and religion needs to be out of the government.
Yeah, and that's the whole basis of the Establishment Clause, is that it's saying Congress shall make no laws establishing state religion, and it won't deny you the right to practice a religion as you see fit. And it's that it's not going to endorse any one specific religion. And what really does aggravate me about this guy, about the Supreme Court ruling, is they don't realize that it is a blatant endorsement of one particular religion.
What about the one-way wall, guys?
Oh, yeah. I hate you for bringing that up.
I actually didn't bring it up by myself. Dare greatly in the chat room.
I hate her with it too. I'm hitting you both with the microphone.
I love her.
All right, so for those of you who didn't...
Oh, that's the right vagina?
So for those of you who weren't around for that... For those of you who weren't around in that episode, what was it? Louis Gohmert, who said that the wall of separation between church and state was a one-way wall. You could walk through it if you were going the right way.
It was meant to keep the government out of church, but not the church out of government.
Right. So before we move on to less serious things, I also wanted to mention that this judge also hates gays getting married at military bases.
Yeah.
Guy is just a dick. He's just a dick.
Big ol' walking penis.
I'm kind of wondering, though, why did he get reinstated? He was out of office for 10 years. Why did he get reinstated?
Because Christians love other Christians.
Of course.
They like their privilege, and so...
That's how they do it. They keep their own kind in power. All right, so let's move on.
Tell us about Jesus, Jay.
Well, we don't really hear much from Australia. I don't know. Maybe the population from down under is a little more sensible.
Down under.
They just passed like the 50% mark, right? For the non-religious?
I don't know, but that might be why we don't hear much from Australia.
Yeah. And their prime minister is an atheist, so...
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
However, reincarnated Jesus and Mary live there.
Awesome.
Mary Magdalene.
Mary Magdalene, excuse me, yeah. So at least that's according to Alan John Miller. He claims he is the reincarnation of Jesus, and his partner is Mary Magdalene. And they both have distinct memories of the crucifixion.
In fact, he has PTSD.
Oh, God. If this guy isn't batshit insane, I don't know who is. I mean, if you repackage this as any other story... What the heck was that?
Sorry.
Okay. No, if you repackage this as any other story, I mean, Cinderella, Rapunzel, whatever... their label is mad. They're laughed out of the room, and but you say you're Jesus and Mary, and well, I guess that makes headlines because
it's religion
and money.
Yeah.
Well, what I think is really great is the fact that Australia's Cult Awareness and Information Center is apparently expressing concern about this because a bunch of this guy's followers have bought up all of the land around him.
Right.
So, like, the locals can't buy any land because people are coming in and buying the land next to him to make a compound.
And they're giving up their careers and buying this stuff. And they've
Kool-Aid.
also given up $400,000 to build a church for this guy, a community center and church.
Can can we just like ship them a giant package of Kool-Aid and hemlock?
That might be a good idea.
Actually, where I was going to go with it is just warn them. If he has a Kool-Aid party, don't go.
No, go. We don't need you people. If you're that dumb and you're going to buy land around him to start a cult, I think Australia's better off without you.
Yeah.
One of the things I want to know is about this woman, Mary Luck, who is apparently the reincarnation of Mary Magdalene. I want to know which Mary Magdalene she's...
The whore?
Right. Is she the prostitute Mary or the pre-misogynist revisionist history Mary Magdalene? That's what I want to know.
It was the prostitute Mary.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. And I think it's
was
really...
it? Did you actually read that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I actually went to their website.
I did too.
I did. I went to their website and they had this... Oh my, it's so insane. And they have this great disclaimer for if you send them email. And it's like you taking an issue with them. They have every right to post it on their website and deal with it as they see fit.
Rebel 1852 in the chat room says Australia used to be a prison planet once, prison island once. Now it could be a theist island.
That's awesome. Let's ship them all there. That's a really good idea.
So I also went to their website. If you really want to go, it's divinetruth.com. I don't recommend it, but I was like, holy crap, you would think that Jesus reincarnated could either have web design skills or
he can acquire
someone who does. It's an awful website.
Yeah.
No, I didn't brave that. You guys are silly.
I do have to say though that I kind of like his approach to the new Christianity, because he claims that people have, he rightly claims that people have corrupted the original texts and the original teachings of Christianity, which is absolutely true. Things have been translated, retranslated, forged, added, deleted, all that. Mary Magdalene is a great example. They made her a prostitute. He gave what he calls the original Lord's Prayer that he said he gave the first time when, back in, BC, whenever
33.
Right. And I like the first line a lot better. I mean, it's still theistic, and so it's dumb, but it's so much better than what Christians today are preaching. So let me read this to you. It says, "My Father who is in heaven, I recognize that you are all holy and loving and merciful, and that I am your child, and not the subservient, sinful, and depraved creatures that false teachers would have me believe." That is so much better than the "you deserve hell, and the only way you're not going to get it is if you come to me and you say the right words. Kiss my ring."
Yeah.
So I really just kind of want to go trip acid with this guy. Like if he's Jesus, and at this point, it's probably becoming one of those things where he thinks it so much that he really believes it. I want to go acid trip with Jesus reincarnate.
I don't think that would be a horrible setting. I mean, it seems like this guy really has it going. My favorite line from that article: police are said to have been called to investigate screams, only to discover members taking part in a healing exercise where they shout to help process past soul damage.
That really sounds like Scientology to me.
Yeah.
That sounds like
wow.
Can I say what my favorite part of that whole article was? Well, he talks about how he reincarnates people, and he says he talks about his friend Lazarus, who you may have heard of. I was
I love that.
What?
Was that from the article or from the webpage?
That's from the
From
article.
both of the articles,
both of them,
actually,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, the article quotes the webpage. But I love how he's name dropping Lazarus. It's like, come on, bro.
Wait, so you said he reincarnates people?
Yeah.
Like
No.
Resurrects.
He has or resurrects people.
Oh, okay. I was like, how does one reincarnate someone?
No, but actually they do that too, because he said that actually 12 other people reincarnated with them. And so
The apostles or what?
he didn't
Probably.
really get that. No,
Yeah, I don't know.
What about Rufus? Where's number 13?
No, because they said they were couples. So there were 14 people, 7 couples that all they found out a way in the late 20th century to come back to Earth. This is the other thing, is that he talks about that from the
fucking crazy.
Yes, he is. So he said that from the 1st century until the beginning of the 20th century, he is led from the heavens a mission to discover more spiritual truth, which was fueled by his personal desire and passion to become ever closer to God. So obviously, he doesn't think Jesus is God.
Yeah, he wants to be closer to God. How do you get closer?
Here's what you do.
Right.
Here's what you do. You sidle up to the throne and you kind of yawn and stretch and like try and put your arm around the guy. Yeah. That's how you get.
Hey Jeff, how's it going?
You guys are on camera. Let me remind you.
I know, that was the point.
Maybe. Yeah, they're on camera. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever. So this is kind of along the same lines, but it's something we've heard 100 times before. Jeff Kinley, he's a Christian author. Yeah, I know, and he feels like we're entering the end times. Like I said, we've heard the song and dance before. I don't know how many times, but his blurbs are kind of the usual: pandemic, unrestrained immorality, falling away from the purity of faith, blah blah blah. It's the same song and dance, but I do agree with one thing he says. He says, I look around at my world and I think, wow, we've written God out of our own story here. We're content in living in our own lives.
Yes!
Damn right! You are damn right I am.
I was like, is there a problem with that? Like, why is that such an issue?
You have nailed it, sir. Thank you.
You figured it out. Good job.
I am content living my own life. I don't need to kiss any rings. I don't need someone to tell me which babies to kill and which people to kill. I don't need to know who to throw rocks at. I'm content just living my own peaceful life.
Yeah.
Who do I get to throw rocks at?
Christians?
Freaking everybody. Have you read the book? You probably haven't read
No,
the
I mean...
He's like the one
I
of us
couldn't
that
read
hasn't.
the entire book for Daryl Ray.
Are you... I can't even with you.
So we've talked, especially in the last couple of months, about how we are living in the golden times of humanity. Fewer people are dying in wars. We have the highest standard of living. These are the good old days.
Yeah.
And this guy thinks that it's the days of sin and depravity and oh my...
I don't know that I would call this the good old days and that we're living in golden times.
Okay, argue with me.
You don't want this on the radio, Chris.
Yeah, I do.
No, we've had this discussion.
Well, I can edit it out. Go.
When in doubt, edit it out.
There's too many friggin' people on the planet.
For what?
For the planet's sustainability and our current system and our current way of living as humans.
Should we just start eating people?
That's not true.
I'm good with that, yes. And okay, so this is one of those things that shouldn't be on the radio.
You agreed with me.
Okay, all right.
Really?
Let's shut it down.
Okay, because I will go there right now. After show.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The post show.
Next.
Post show, we're going to talk about cannibalism. I don't know why this is spiking so bad.
Because we're laughing. Okay, so let's talk about childless women.
Oh, this is really wonderful. Okay, so Pastor Stephen Anderson of the Arizona-based Faithful Word Baptist Church, he's causing a little bit more of a misogynistic stir lately. And if anybody actually remembers, back in February, this is the guy who said that divorced women who remarry are committing adultery because marriage is for life between one man and one woman.
That's biblical.
This is the
That's
you
monogamy.
can't argue with it. Well, this is the same guy who already ticked me off before.
Although I have to say that I think he's on far firmer biblical ground when he says that about divorce than he is when he's talking about birth control.
About birth control, yeah. But he had posted a sermon on his website, because he always posts them on his website, because I don't know if anybody doesn't really want to go. He's saying that birth control goes against the teachings of the Bible by turning women into whores and in turn having them turn to Satan. And I just actually want to mention that is that the urge that I felt whenever I took my birth control pill this afternoon? I'm really wondering.
How do you turn to Satan? I mean, maybe he could write a how-to book, because I wouldn't even know where to begin with that.
Yeah,
Can I try one of your birth control pills right now so that I can
No.
go down?
That might do weird things to you, buddy.
Yeah. He says that it turns women into idle, tattler, gossip, turning aside from Satan, and that the plasma of a woman who's on birth control is neon glowing green.
Oh, shut up!
I swear to God, neon glowing green. And let's never mind the fact that plasma, like healthy plasma, is yellow.
Right.
Like it's usually kind of yellow murky.
Yeah.
I wonder
because he said that there was a friend of his that worked in a plasma donation center, and he said whenever we have a woman that says that she's on birth control, we draw the blood, we extract the plasma, and the plasma's always neon glowing green, and it's like, what?
That would be 90% of the plasma they get then. I mean, come on, bro.
Yeah.
We talked about this on the show at one point. I had a friend, I was reading a story that we were doing on the show about birth control and does it make women more promiscuous? It's BS. It doesn't. They're already promiscuous. If they're going to be promiscuous, they're going to do it with or without birth control.
Yeah.
Birth control. Birth control. It's going to be, it's not going to change drastically how they act. It might change some of the decisions they make while they're acting.
Yeah.
Like, whatever, but...
We've had the same discussion when we talk about abortion. If
yeah.
you really want to stop abortion, let's start teaching our children about birth control.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start doing it responsibly. Stop trying to teach it as an abstinence-only thing, and get on with it.
Well, and it's like we talked about on the show with Daryl Ray. He was the one who was like, there is no real correlation between abstaining from sex and sexual activity and how religious a person is. It's going to happen at about the same age. It's going to happen at the same rate. Regardless, hormones are hormones, dude. It's gonna happen.
Is that hormones?
Yes.
Is that what you were saying?
Yes,
Okay.
because I take birth control and I'm a whore.
Okay, I was just checking.
Yeah, I just wanted to make that abundantly clear.
So I've got an idea for a business. I say we get all the women in CCA together who are on birth control pills. We take their plasma out and we fill glow sticks with them. And we sell them at, like, Halloween.
That's wonderful.
Raves. Raves. Who wouldn't want atheist plasma glow sticks at a rave? Come on.
It's going to be really weird if one of them bursts open.
Ew.
It might also be a biohazard. I'm not sure.
Just a little bit.
That's a hard limit for me, guys. I think I'm out.
Oh, I like biohazard glow sticks though. That sounds really awesome.
It does.
That's totally metal.
I didn't even realize it.
He did have a quote in there that made me kind of uncertain here. If this is really what it does, I'm not entirely sure if this is a bad thing. It promotes promiscuity, whoredom, do not prostitute thy daughter, blah, 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 to cause her to be a whore, lest the land fall to whoredom and the land become full of wickedness.
I am so full of wickedness.
I'm not entirely sure that's a bad thing.
I'm okay with number 1, 2, and 4.
So
those were good.
The wickedness?
Cool. Yeah, the wickedness is good.
Sure. So it's the whoredom you're against?
No. It was the don't prostitute your daughter or whatever.
Oh, yeah, the prostituting your daughter. Yeah, that was figurative. Come on.
It's not meant literally.
That's don't put your daughter on birth control.
Right.
Oh.
Because then she'll turn into a whore.
Oh. Well.
That's prostituting her to whoredom, according to what he said earlier.
I see where he's going with that.
So don't put your daughter on birth control, or else this is going to happen.
Okay, well then let's put them all on birth control.
I'm so putting my daughter on birth control.
Yeah, right.
I mean, not because I'm promoting wickedness. That's not necessarily a bad thing in my view, but that's.
But at the same time,
I think it's the responsible thing to do.
Yeah. And we've seen study after study on this show that being on birth control does not turn women into raving sex maniacs who are running down the street looking for anybody and anything that they can just, whatever.
Not last time I checked anyway.
All right. Well, okay, you would know better than I would.
I would actually.
But I would like to try one just to see what happens.
No.
You never know.
I'm sure that there's been studies done. Let's just
Okay.
Can I take a second to move this?
Yeah, you should probably move yours too.
Yeah.
Why for?
Just to make it less.
Yeah, and just because I'm having to lean, and I'd rather not lean.
Okay.
I'd rather just kind of do like that.
Do your thing.
Okay.
Okay, so
there was one thing this guy said that I really actually agreed with though.
Uh-oh.
He said birth control and feminism go hand in hand. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Oh darn!
Amen.
I love how people try to use feminism like it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like
they're gonna beat you with your own weapon or something.
Or birth control. Birth
Yeah.
control and feminism are bad things.
Well, and he actually also says in his sermon, women aren't supposed to want jobs. Women are supposed to stay at home and have the children. My wife is counted as unemployed. She's not unemployed. She doesn't want a job. She has a job. She takes care of the kids and cleans the house. And it's like, wow.
If that's the lifestyle that your wife wants and that you want, that's great. But that is not what every woman wants or should be. So quit being a dick.
Did anybody listen to this dude?
Yeah,
No.
A little bit.
I did.
couldn't listen to the whole thing.
I did.
I was looking for the highlight there where he began to sing "Fornicate with Me" to the tune of the Mickey Mouse Club.
Oh, Annette Funicello.
Seriously, yeah, he had a
did.
big thing against Annette Funicello
because she advertised it to birth control. Sorry.
All right, then. Cool.
So Mickey Mouse is Satan.
I wish I had known that because I totally would have grabbed that clip.
Yeah. Well, you can edit it in later. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, here's that clip.
I like how we always do that.
Anyway, let's
And
move
I-
on.
And I probably won't remember to do it either. So
No.
That's okay. That's fine. It'll get edited out instead of in. All right. So this next story is really absolutely sickening, and it's okay. So basically, this Arizona pastor he's gone on the record as saying really, really, really crazy shit. He's basically Pastor Shithead McGee. He goes under the pseudonym. He preaches under a pseudonym. It's Brother Dean Samuel.
does he explain why he uses that name?
If he does, I
figure it
didn't
out.
read it.
I'd just like to point out that Dean and Samuel are the names of the brothers from Supernatural.
Maybe this guy's a super troll. That could be.
Maybe. I can hope so because, he's come out again to defend his victim-blaming stance on rape. And this time, he's holding a sign that says, "You deserve rape," while claiming that yoga pants are sin. Okay. If it's non-consensual, then no one asked for it.
Yeah.
Okay. If this were a man being taken advantage of because he was wearing nothing but a Speedo, the argument would be flipped on its head. Especially if he was being assaulted by another man.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly the blame would be on the aggressor.
Right.
Right.
Oh, that's absolutely true.
Right, and I'm sure the words like evil, sin, Satan would be brought up against the rapist.
Yeah.
But no, since it's a woman as the target, it must be her fault for wearing clothing that's too provocative. And I'm sorry, yogurt pants? They're not. they cover everything from the waist down, guys. They're not that provocative.
But what about yoga pants?
Yeah, I know. A friend of mine calls them yogurt pants, so I can't help but call them yogurt pants now.
I've never heard that before, but I like it.
You got a triple snort out of her at that time. Impressive.
That's Luz, by the way. I'll give her credit.
That's awesome. Awesome in like the worst way. But awesome.
Anyway, but seriously, yoga pants cover everything from the waist down.
Yeah.
How is that provocative? Okay, yeah, it makes asses look good if you have a good ass, but
If and only if, though.
why is that a provocative thing?
I'm gonna go on record as saying it's provocative. I like it.
I like it too.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, I'm a huge
Yoga
fan.
Yoga fans are very nice.
I
but
do not have a problem. I've never had a compulsion to rape a woman who's wearing yoga pants.
Same.
But I have enjoyed seeing women in yoga pants.
Can I amend your statement, guys? I've never had a compulsion to rape a woman.
Yes.
Period.
Rape anybody at all. Well, that's
wanna-
good. I appreciate that, actually.
I don't know about you two guys. But
I appreciate that because there would be a long list if I was going to list all the types of women.
Individually.
That you wouldn't.
But for the purposes of making the argument, that was
okay,
a
gotcha.
good way to limit it.
That's fair.
Yeah, and apparently this guy also spewed a whole bunch of crap about LGBTQ people, about porn, just about evolution, too. And it's like, this guy just has his head planted so firmly up his hind end, and it's there is probably just no retrieving it.
Well, this is a really young guy. He's 21, 22, and he's out there just trying to make his impact.
Oh, so I'd break him in half.
Oh, absolutely.
Would you?
Well, is that because you're on birth control?
Yes.
Okay,
The birth
so-
control gives me the urge
Hulk
to...
power?
Yes.
Wickedness.
What happens if she wears yogurt pants with her birth control?
She's got the green sex Hulk shirt on.
I have a little booby in this
Green
shirt.
sex Hulk. I don't even want to know.
Sorry, Mom.
Those things need to leave my brain. What were you going to say,
Oh my
Kristen?
god, no, because Ian Doyle 3950 in the chat room says Yoda pants. and Howmeister in the chat room follows up with my ass make it look better than you.
actually want to take this opportunity to let everybody know that everybody that is listening is our team, Kessel Run DMC, won the Let the Wookiee Win, the Star Wars themed quiz this last weekend. Although, Ferris, you did win the best team name.
I did win
Would you like to
best
tell us what your team name was, Ferris?
My quiz team name was Han shot first, Leia finished by herself.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. But I did the trivia contest by myself and took 5th place out of 20.
Are you serious?
That's amazing, yeah.
I didn't know that, dude.
Yeah.
High five.
Outstanding.
Dude,
Yeah.
excellent.
I got 32.50 from it because we split the winnings between the 6 of us.
Nice.
So I got
you profited.
32.50. I did profit. I still have like $2 left. So
That is like the first time I've ever gotten a high five for being a huge Star Wars nerd. Okay, number 2.
like, come on, I haven't given you a high five for being a Star Wars nerd yet.
No.
I'm disappointed in myself.
I want to talk about these guys in general, though, because I don't understand why we allow these people on our campuses. Now, freedom of speech is one thing, but you don't have the freedom to verbally assault people, right? I mean,
Yeah, there are laws against
Sure.
that, yeah.
I mean, so when I see these guys, you know, the last time they came to my campus, they set up out right in front of the LGBTQ table and were harassing those people. At Texas A&M Corpus Christi, they were yelling at women. They were harassing women just walking by trying to go to class, and I don't understand why they don't shut those people down.
That does seem like assault, disturbing the peace. I'm sure
Yeah.
there's some sort of law that they could invoke to stop that. I mean, if you were to do that in the middle of, downtown for no friggin' reason, you wouldn't be allowed to do that.
Or if we went down to Bay Area Fellowship, for example, and stood on the sidewalk
Stood on an atheist soapbox.
and hurled,
I love the look that you just gave me because it's like
I want to make
you
an
just-
atheist soapbox now.
You just gave me the look of that is a brilliant idea, and that gives me the warm fuzzies. I don't get that look a lot.
I'm making an atheist soapbox, guys.
Yes.
And I think you could stand on the atheist soapbox and you can preach atheist things. But there's a difference between doing that and singling out people and calling them names.
Right.
That's insightful speech, and I think that's when it crosses the line. That's anything that's insightful. You're crossing that free speech line, and these people quite often do cross that line.
And what I really hate the fact that it's always hiding behind religion. Just face it, dude. You are a misogynist. You're a homophobe. You are transphobic. You are every sort of phobic in the dictionary.
And if we've learned anything from a lot of these people, it's that he probably really enjoys the things he's talking about. Being horrible things. He's probably going to get caught one day, in the bathroom of the park, giving out handies for fun or something. I don't know.
For fun or for profit?
One or the other.
And I think the he point is interesting on this one because I've seen plenty of hate speech from women, but here.
Wait till this fucking douchebag with the small dick leaves.
Damn it! I love how we can tell the size of his penis.
Start over.
So I think the he point is very important here because with these guys, it is all guys. I've only seen the males out there doing this type of preaching.
That is a good point,
especially on the campuses.
Yeah.
So we should start a counter, counter protest, counter yell at people. I don't know what the hell.
Counter preach.
Counter preach. Yeah, we'll get all the CCA girls, and we'll take them to some awesome place like Bay Area Fellowship,
Woohoo.
and we'll let them yell things at people.
Misandrous things.
Yes.
Yeah, and as long as the girls are dressed provocatively, that's in yoga pants.
Yogurt pants. Yeah.
Yoga pants.
Yoda pants. I prefer the Yoda pants.
I was like, I prefer Yoda pants personally, but I'm also never mind.
You're wearing the green sex Hulk shirt or something. I don't know what that was about.
I hate all of you.
Let's move on to some.
Right. So there's one more. I don't know why theists picked this week to pick on women, but they did. Our favorite air quotes historian, David Barton.
This guy again?
This guy again.
He's friggin' gay.
This is the guy who wrote a book about Thomas Jefferson that won such awards as least accurate history book in print. Love this guy.
I just love that we can bring that out every time.
Yep.
And every time we just go, yep.
It's just funny.
That guy.
Tagging that one again. This time he's arguing that denying women the right to vote was necessary for a strong culture and society.
Cool.
He argues that women weren't prevented from voting because of misogyny, but because of God.
Okay, so I've actually heard someone that I like and I get along with very well make this argument. This person is also a historian.
What?
And I only heard
Where?
the first. Okay, there.
History major or historian?
A few credits short of a doctorate.
Okay.
So the argument only lasted about a minute and a half until I realized what was being said, and I wigged the F out.
You're all like, nope.
And he and his girlfriend subsequently got in a huge fight.
Good.
Yeah, it was just
so.
like so. It's not the first time I didn't actually get to hear all the whatnot behind it, but I'd really kind of like to hear that perspective and just sit down and just go, okay, what deluded crap do you believe?
I would not like to hear that. Well, I mean, what David Barton says is that God wants dudes to be in charge, and since the fall, that's what it is. And so, so personally, for me, what that means is I draw no distinction between misogyny and biblical teaching. It is one and the same.
Exactly.
God is a misogynist. Strangely enough, because all the people who made him up are misogynists.
Yeah.
So are you saying that misogyny is born only of religion?
No,
but
Good.
it's highly associated.
There's
No,
yeah, I agree.
but religion is misogynist.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well not all
Not all
religions,
religion.
but yeah, but Christianity.
But the big three,
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
all the Abrahamic religions are misogynists, and those are the main religions. So I mean, Scientology, not so much. But is Scientology really a problem? No.
Just for rich people to go
Yeah.
spend more money.
Or not so rich people. I mean, it's a problem.
Oh, that's true. You're right.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that when we're talking about religion, what I'm generally talking about is Christianity, Judaism, and Islam.
Yeah.
So
He actually says something along the lines of, the reason that women weren't allowed to vote was not because of sexism, but because of biblical principles. It's just like Ferris was just saying. The entire book is sexist.
Yeah.
Trying to distinguish one from the other doesn't work at all. And I'd also like to ask, he talks about family anarchy. What is family anarchy? Because I just picture a bunch of little kids running around naked with war paint on their faces and like roasting their parents over a spit.
like Lord of the Flies.
Yes.
Yeah. No,
I don't know what that is.
I what I gathered from that is basically what he means is women trying to be in charge of anything. And that anarchy means that it's
Wearing any pants.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Unless they're yoga pants.
Yeah.
Yoda pants.
Literally, he thinks it's anarchy if anyone but the man is making the decisions for the family unit. That is the essence of his argument, is that God wants dudes to be in charge, and if the dudes aren't in charge, it's anarchy and chaos.
Yeah, and he says,
You're probably right.
marriage is when a man and a woman come together as one, and they're the ones that are supposed to make the decisions, and the men are supposed to be the head of the household. And it's like, you are completely silencing women entirely, and you want to silence. I'm sure if this guy really, really wanted to repeal the 19th Amendment, he totally would. He would make it happen.
I think he just wants to stay in charge in his own family.
Maybe he's lost control. Maybe we need to get him on and like counsel him or something, get him through.
I'm not sure he actually believes any of this stuff, and I would really doubt that it's so personal that it's about maintaining control in his own household.
I don't know.
The cynic in me says that he has found a niche of people who will pay him to speak and buy his air quotes books, and so he speaks to them. That's what I think. I think it's like L. Ron Hubbard. He found a bunch of people who would buy his crap. Yeah. And he goes to town on it because it's the way he makes his living.
Well, I'd like to point out one of the stupid people that pays him, Glenn Beck.
That was going to be the point I made just now. And this guy actually teaches at Glenn Beck's online university. Mm-hmm. The fact that Glenn Beck has an online university.
Right, that's what I was about to... Hold on. What? He's got a... What?
I didn't have time to check this one out, but... that one blew me away.
We need to turn some levels down because we're like spiking all over the place.
I'm not. I'll watch them. We'll go.
Not right now.
I wonder, is it an accredited university?
No.
That's the biggest issue for me is I might want to transfer there. I'm just saying.
There are so many air quotes in the statement that Glenn Beck has an online university where he teaches. I mean, it's more quotes than anything in that sentence.
Yeah, wow.
That's awesome.
Okay. So Corpus Christi Atheist meets every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. This weekend we're going to be at Surf Club. That's not off SPID, although my notes do say that. Surf Club is downtown. It's off of Water Street. If you don't know where that is or how to get there or
you
whatever.
Don't know where that is.
Right?
Obviously.
Visit ccatheist.com for a list of our public events. If you're interested in connecting with Hulk Sex Green Shirt or any of the rest of us, just visit our affiliates, or you can find our affiliates too. SouthTexasCOR.com. Connect with our sister organizations.
And she will break you in half. She said it. I'm just repeating it.
Again, sorry, Mom.
Is she still in the chat room?
yes, she is. Both of her split personalities are still in the chat room.
I have a feeling none of this is news to her.
Right.
You're Susan number 2. You really think... Never mind. Not going there.
Please don't go there.
All right, so... I know it's early for our annual Christmas Don't Donate to the Salvation Army campaign, but bigotry knows no season. A transgender woman in Dallas was attempting... I'm not even looking at the chat room. Don't gesture at it. I'm not looking.
Okay, hold on. We're going to pause real quick. Hold on. What did your mom say?
She just goes, hi. Oh, and Dare greatly points out Jeff is wearing a green shirt, too.
Oh, wow. Okay, pay-per-view and post-show, guys. He Hulk versus She Hulk. Who is going to break who first?
Whom?
I hate all of you.
Okay, sorry. As you were saying.
So, a transgender woman in Dallas was attempting to move from an emergency homeless shelter where you can only stay for 30 days. Her 30 days was almost up, so she was trying to move to a transitional shelter where you can stay for somewhere like 6 to 9 months. The shelter she was moving to was run by the Salvation Army. This woman actually originally ended up in a shelter because she was run out of her home in Paris, Texas, by harassment and death threats due to her sexual orientation.
Have we heard about this woman before? Have we covered stories? Okay. No. It sounds familiar.
It's because this is what the Salvation Army fucking does. So she claims that everything was lined up for her to go to this shelter, and that as soon as they asked her whether she had had gender reassignment surgery, suddenly, and she hadn't yet, suddenly all of the rooms dried up.
She was actually told originally that because she had not had surgery yet, that they wouldn't be able to do it. And then when somebody kind of pressed, the story changed. And they said, oh no, there's actually a waiting list. And what really gets me about this is there actually might be a legal loophole for them to get through, because they talked to like the housing discrimination, and there might be a legal loophole that these people can get through to justify them discriminating against her, pertaining to if they are split off according to sex and gender, like if it's the men in one wing and the women in another, if they're split off like that, then they have a right to say, oh, we can't put you over here because biologically you are male, even though she's a woman.
Right.
That just,
I think
that makes me mad.
For me, this goes right back to what we were talking about earlier with the prayer in legislatures, that even if it were legal, it's not right.
Yeah.
Gender is far more complex than do you have boobies or do you have a pee-pee.
Yeah.
And actually, not giving the Salvation Army credit on this one, but the Salvation Army spokesman that came in later said, no, wait, that's not what we do. We respect a person's gender identity, but somebody's lying here.
Yeah.
In terms of what happened, because it's not just the transgendered woman who said, "Hey, look, this is what happened." This is the social worker that set her up there to start with,
Right.
and attended all of these meetings and said, "Hey, this is what they said."
Right.
They had this open, and as soon as this was mentioned, they had this gobbledygook term saying, "Oh, well, we can't do it because whatever."
Right.
And the translation was that we can't do it because you haven't gone far enough with the surgery.
Yeah.
Right. This is why I don't believe the Salvation Army story, though, is because this is what they do every time this story like this comes up. They lie. You know, they'll say, we're totally not anti-gay, and then someone will say, well, we just found this page on your website, and delete. That was there by mistake. Or they'll say, we're totally not anti-gay. Well, what about this legislation you sponsored? Or what about this guy who said that they should all be put to death? He's not really a member. I mean, forget that he's a high-ranking official. Just don't pay attention to that guy. I mean, they lie. They flippin' lie. So if you give me a random anybody off the street and they tell me something about the Salvation Army, and the Salvation Army says something different, I'm going with the random person on the street.
Yeah. Because the Salvation Army has that poor of a track record with just trying to cover their own tracks, and it's just...
The other thing is that what surgery someone has had or has not had is nobody's flipping business.
Yeah.
That is not your business. Don't ask.
It doesn't matter.
It does not matter.
It has zero bearing on whatever you need to do to help them.
Those are so amazingly private, and it's like, why would this even come up? Like, why did they feel justified in asking this? Like,
Absolutely.
I hate it.
I just, what they're probably going to come up with a list of reasons why, what happens if a man makes it into the women's wing. You know what? If someone's going to go to that length to do it, there are rules you can put in place for conduct.
Yeah.
And if they violate those rules, toss them out on their ears.
Yeah.
I don't care. I will, you know what? I'll come down there and help you toss out someone who's harassing women. I will come down there and escort them out.
No, you won't.
I will put on Turpin's green Hulk shirt.
You're going to need some help,
It's
buddy.
a little stretched out boobs.
Like you've got a hole in it. Like you've already like.
No, it's
Oh, okay. No.
it's lace. It's supposed to be
lace,
like
okay.
that. But I mean, on the bright side,
That's not lace. That's
it
from when
used to be. It used to be. I've washed it a lot.
You hulked out in that shirt. That's what that is.
Is that what they're calling that these days?
Ooh.
Anyway, so at least she had the Trans Pride Initiative, because they have the Shared Housing Project, which aims to help homeless transgendered people. And apparently they had some statistics in this article that said 19% of trans people have experienced homelessness at some point in their life. 55% have reported experiencing harassment by shelter staff or residents.
Wow.
So even if they get into a shelter, they're still going to be harassed.
Right.
And 29% were just turned away completely.
I wonder, are there a lot of transgendered homeless people? Is there like a
Chances
large
are,
number?
yeah.
So maybe there should be an organization for them.
There is.
Yeah, the Trans Pride Initiative, and
That's
it
what they
actually,
are?
yeah,
Okay.
they have
Partially.
that going on. Yeah, there's also actually Dare Greatly was telling me a few days ago about St. James Infirmary, that I think they're California based, I'm wanting to say, and they are they're designed to help like transgendered people, sex workers, stuff like that, people who, are a very marginalized part of society, and sort of help them out, because a lot of them are, usually low income and stuff like that. So they've actually got a really, really good mission going, and I really want to look more into them.
Excellent. So anyway, I guess the point of this whole thing is, please don't ever donate money to the Salvation Army.
Yeah.
Can we pee in their buckets?
Yes.
That sounds like fun.
Just put yours will fit in the little slot. So just stick it in that slot and go to town, bro.
Why we gotta make jokes about
That's what she said. Again, sorry, Mom.
I used to like you people.
Let's move on to Mississippi, and I think we actually have someone from Mississippi in our chat room. So
Yes,
do,
we
yes,
do.
yes.
I think it was Ian Doyle 3950.
if you want to weigh in on this as the resident Mississippi expert, please feel free, Ian.
So if you saw a sticker on the door of a business that said, "We don't discriminate. If you're buying, we're selling." If you saw that on the door of a business, you would think something along the terms of acceptance, good business practices, but no, apparently not. Apparently, the Tupelo, Mississippi-based anti-LGBTQ organization, American Family Association, they're trying to spin these stickers as being anti-Christian bullying. Because it's a bullying campaign carried out by radical homosexual activists who intend to trample the freedom of Christians to live according to the dictates of Scripture. That is a direct quote from these jerks.
GFY.
Yeah, GFY.
I would say it's not bullying, but if they take it as bullying, it's like a freebie. It's like we get to say something nice, and they get to feel victimized. Oh, I love that.
They're going to look for any reason to look victimized, though. That's the thing. They're going to look for any reason to be victimized or persecuted.
And we see this. This is time and time again.
Yeah,
we're bigots for pointing out their bigotry and saying that they're bigots.
Yeah.
So the other thing the guy said was, he said, quote, "They don't want to hear that homosexuality is sinful behavior." No, I don't. And they wish to silence Christians in the church who dare to believe this truth. Now, I don't want to silence you, but I want you to keep it in your churches. I want you to keep it in your homes and your private lives. You can hate whoever you want, but yes, you can.
You usually do.
Not on this show.
True.
And not once you step into the public sector.
Yeah.
Once you are a business, you have no right to discriminate against groups of people. You can refuse service to individuals, but not to groups.
So I can still hate a person.
I mean, and this is the thing. This is why they are so adamant that the gay rights movement is so different from civil rights for African Americans, is because the second you say that those are the same things, then they have to acknowledge that when they say they want to refuse service to homosexuals, they are also saying that they support religious people who make religious arguments, like the hybriding guy that we talked about not too long ago, who want to minimize race relations and mixing of the races.
So let's fight fire with fire.
Arson?
No, no.
That
Actually,
sounds like fun, actually.
For once, I'm actually not talking about arson.
Oh, wow.
So, if we know these businesses exist and they are discriminating and they are assholes, they are Christians, they are bigots, whatever, why don't we make some stickers or some placards that's along the same lines as the whites only placards, but is geared towards LGBTQ.
Well, they do. They do have an example of a sticker in the article that is pretty much, if you don't follow biblical principles, you're not welcome here. And that's kind of like, well, I would automatically know to avoid that place. There's a few places here in town that they have little Jesus fish on their signs, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm not going to go there. I'm going to purposely not go there.
Floyd's Christian Restaurant.
Yeah.
I was there last night. Anyway.
if only there was something else in Flower Bluff,
Right?
I was going to say, Floyd's Christian Restaurant is a frequent stop after karaoke night for Corpus Christi atheists.
They have some pretty good food, guys.
I've actually never been there.
Me neither. I won't go.
Because it's Floyd's Christian Restaurant?
Yeah.
I don't.
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense.
I will not.
I used to go there. I wasn't raising my hand.
I thought you.
Scratching. No, this is annoying. So.
Look at the inches.
No, but what I was saying is okay. Those businesses that choose to do that and represent themselves as that, okay, great. But as citizens, I think maybe we should take an initiative to do that on a guerrilla level, and have a sticker that's, hey, guess what? If you are LGBTQ friendly, this business isn't. When you walk up, you see a very
I like that.
A sticker that's placed.
A good idea.
It's not super obvious. It might, the owner may not even recognize it, and just be like, "What the heck is that?" Something very, very
hard to get off the front door of their business.
We gotta think of something really permanent.
The same sticker stuff that they use to put the little notices on the cars.
Yeah, those things are impossible to get off. I mean, I've never had one, but I always see people driving down and they're like always have scratched off. Oh, no. They couldn't get all of it off their car window.
They are really hard to get off. I have people come to me all the time for work that they have had their vehicles had. Yeah. Anyway, they're a bitch to get off. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on.
I actually just wanted to point out that Hellmeister in the chat room had said such good chicken fried steak, and Susan Turpin 31, who yes, we are related, said chicken fried Christians with gravy and mashed potatoes. That's my mom.
I'm good with that.
I actually had one more thing that I wanted to bring up about this guy. This guy offered a word of caution for those who do business with facilities posting that sticker. He said, if you do that, you are agreeing with these businesses that Christians no longer have the freedom to live out the dictates of their Christian faith and conscience. This goes back to what Jeff was saying a little while ago. They seem to strongly understand the idea of discrimination when it affects them.
Yeah.
They seem to be completely oblivious when they are institutionalizing bigotry against other people.
Of course.
It's the Christian privilege.
It boggles my mind.
And really, that's all it is. This is a viewpoint-centered thing, just like a Christian fish would be. It really is. It's just, hey, look, if you want to come in, we're in support of this.
Right. Christian fish, by the way.
Bigots.
That when you say Christian fish versus Jesus fish, I get a totally different image.
do you picture his head on like a fish?
No, that's a totally different image altogether.
I just did. I honestly did.
Anyway, no, that's not what I was envisioning. Let's talk about gay sex and poop.
When do we not?
That's an interesting segue. I was going to go with flipping to the other side of the country, but poop works too. So, in South Dakota last week, pastor, of course, and Republican State Representative Steve Hickey sent a letter to his local paper decrying homosexuals, and homosexuals saying in part, and I can only assume that he's been hanging out on school playgrounds, that doctors should I swear it's what it sounds like here.
Okay.
He says that doctors should declare homosexuality dangerous because, quote, we are talking about a one-way alley meant only for the garbage truck to go down.
Oh my god. I cannot even with that. I can't.
And the best part is he discussed that later on and said, well, I talked to my staff about it and thought maybe, and they said maybe I should take this out. But hey, I wanted to go ahead and leave that part in.
No big deal.
His wife
Take it out of where?
His wife also told him to take it out.
Well, of course he's not going to listen to his wife. Hello.
Okay,
Never mind.
I'm gonna back my truck out of the one-way alley here and not go any farther down that road.
There's only so far you can get, I imagine.
So, I actually have a sound.
Love you, people.
I actually have a sound clip of some of his defense of his letter. His Democratic challenger in the U.S. Senate race is a doctor who notes that science has found gay sex no more harmful than straight sex. And I also was thinking about it. I'm like, I've been on the internet. A lot of straight sex looks like gay sex. I mean, there's a lot of anal sex going on.
There's some similar elements, I guess.
A lot of anal, a lot of oral. They're frequently the same acts, whether you're gay or straight.
I mean, yeah, even straight, there's DPs and stuff like that where the penises are touching, man. I mean, they're slapping ball sacks, and it's supposed to be straight porn.
You didn't stop him. I'm just saying.
I'm just adding on to the things you're saying.
I just have to say, like, in terms of the hierarchy of horrible things that Jay says, that's like, I just let him off the leash on that one because I'm like, if that's the worst it gets,
then we're okay.
We're okay.
Yeah,
then I can get to bed early tonight and I'll spend all night editing shit.
Slapping sacks. Okay, I can do. Okay, we're good.
So he sat down with a local newspaper and on camera tried to defend his messed up letter, and let me play the clip here.
And here's what I'd like to ask Dr. Whelan. Do you tell your patients to wash their hands before they eat? Why? Because you touch a doorknob and you don't want to get it inside your body. But and here, I hesitate to get crude again, but Dr. Whelan, is it okay for 8 of your friends that you're in love with to take a dump in your bed and you can sleep in it all year long?
Yeah, don't be crude.
Perfect response.
Right?
Jesus. Oh my god, I cannot even with that shit. I'm sorry, I can't.
Why? Do you want a doorknob in your body? Because that's... Wow, why would he even say that?
These guys kill themselves. You know, it's great. I mean, I think, they're put here for our amusement.
What other reason could there possibly be? It must be intelligent design or something.
Yeah. I find it really, really entertaining that whenever it is brought to his attention that there is no general scientific consensus on homosexual sex being any more dangerous than heterosexual sex, he's kind of just all like, no, I don't believe that consensus exists. It's like, okay, well, dude, that's the thing about science, is it's true whether or not you believe it.
Yep.
Thank you, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
The guy is a science denier. That's all he. That's all they all are, really.
Pretty much, yeah.
This one reminded me of that Ugandan guy who went up and the eat your own poo poo thing.
Oh yeah,
that's very much this guy was same kind of stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so we done talking about garbage trucks.
We can move a little. So we've gone from way south to way north. Let's hit the middle.
Why? All
right, moving on from poop shoots. All right, so Matt Whitaker, he's the former U.S. attorney and now Iowa State Senate hopeful.
Oh no, it's United States Senate.
Oh, I thought
he's from Iowa.
Oh, I thought it was okay. Anyway,
it's the Senate.
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha. Well, it's the big one. He's blatantly endorsing Christianity in our government, and I mean his own words say it pretty well. He feels that, and air quotes here, I guess let's say whatever. What I know is, as long as they have that worldview, and he means a biblical view of justice,
specifically a Christian biblical view,
that they'll be a good judge. And if they have a secular worldview where this is all we have here on earth, then I'm going to be very concerned about that judge.
Right-wing Christians have been very, very careful to always say Judeo-Christian values.
Yeah.
And this guy throws that right out the window.
Yeah.
He goes to town. No Jews, no atheists, no Hindus, no Buddhists. If you're not part of the 70-something%, we're going to institute a religious test for office. Yeah. Is basically what he's saying.
And not only that, but they have to have that biblical view of justice. Not only do you have to be Christian in his view, you also have to your view of justice has to be based on.
Yeah, they have to be based on one has to be based on the other. Otherwise, I'm gonna. Yeah, and somebody even asked him Levitical or New Testament. Oh, I'm New Testament.
But what I wonder is if they're going to have a biblical view of justice, does that mean that all of a sudden they're going to be cutting a bunch of babies in half?
I hope so.
I'm good with this.
I mean, that would probably scare away some of their base, so I think maybe a good trade-off. I don't know. I'll have to think about it.
Did you just advocate killing babies?
I did, and I'm wincing.
That's awesome.
But
he's learning. He's learning.
Yeah, slowly but surely we're getting him.
I have been hanging out with Jay way too much.
What I think is really, really horrible is this all happened at a debate. This all happened at a debate. So there were other people saying things that were along the same lines. And specifically, there was one person, Joni Ernst, said that judges need to understand that America's laws come from the laws of God. And even the moderator had said that businesses that sell goods and services to gay people are aiding and abetting sin. And that it's perfectly fine to discriminate against them.
I think this is just... showing exactly the extent that in these like the Republican primaries that people will go, especially the Tea Party folks, in order to I mean they're racing to the right. How radical can we get on this? No, I'm more like this. You're more of an Obama lover. So.
Yeah. Well, the moderator was also a well-known homophobic bigot and kept asking a lot of leading questions.
Oh, yeah.
And another thing that this Joni Ernst person said was, quote, "We don't want to discriminate against people, however," and to me, if you start a sentence with, "We don't want to discriminate against people, however,"
or but.
Right, pretty much just say, "We want to discriminate against people, and let me tell you why."
Yeah.
She goes on to say, is this she?
I believe so,
Okay.
Joni.
I believe so, yeah. I think it is.
If you have a person or business that have those deep-seated beliefs, then they should not be forced to do something that does not fit within their religious beliefs. So, I mean, basically what these Christians are saying, that is, as long as it's against your beliefs to serve gays or to serve blacks or Hispanics or even white people, let's live in fantasy land for a second and say that there was someone somewhere who would refuse to serve white people.
I would.
That's okay.
Thanks.
That,
You are the minority in this room right now, bro.
When am I not?
Whenever Justin's here.
last night there, I heard there was a big bar fight, and you were.
What?
Okay. Fair enough.
Anyway.
Anyway, it's not discrimination when you want to do it, but it's discrimination if you do the exact same thing and you're not holding the Bible at the time when you do it. That's
so if I carry a Bible and say crazy things.
No.
Don't try it with me, bro.
What if I hold it upside down?
No. It's just like I said earlier, with people just hiding behind this thin veil of religion in order to hide their bigotry or attempt to hide their bigotry. They're not even really putting any effort into hiding it. It's like, come on, are we really having a race to see who can be the biggest asswipe?
They are actually putting some effort, not into hiding it, but into
making it okay.
Well,
yeah.
Maybe camouflaging it, because what they're trying to say is it's not discrimination, that the actual discrimination is people who are trying to stop them from discriminating.
Yeah.
And they are very successful at getting stupid people to believe that talking point. I run into that all day, every day in South Texas. People believe this bullshit.
Yeah.
It's lame.
Let's move east to Kentucky.
Yes, Kentucky.
I don't have a good segue for that.
Buckle up, kids. We're on like a tour of the United States.
Little did we know, but apparently it can be a taxpayer-funded bus tour of the United States. I don't know. That was a horrible, horrible introduction. So apparently in the state of Kentucky, in all of its open-minded glory, they have spent nearly $18 million to bus students to private schools. Now, privately funded, mostly religious, tuition-funded school for the families who choose to opt out of the government-funded private schools. Now, they're actually, overall in Kentucky, they are cutting the funding for public education. But because they have had lobbying from groups like the Catholic Conference of Kentucky, they are now receiving subsidies to the tune of $3.5 million a year. And that's up from last year, when last year it was $2.7 million. So, I don't know what you're doing. That was weird. There's a few lawmakers who have raised some objections, sort of based on...
Are they in Kentucky?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
They're well, I mean, they're Democrats in Kentucky, so they're actually essentially Republicans.
Still, wow.
They're
right.
essentially Republicans. And they're for the most part, they're just folding and saying, no, it's okay, because it has to do with religion. And they are not standing up for, what is actually right and what is constitutional.
Right, because the Kentucky state constitution, in fact, forbids this. Section 189 says, no portion of any fund or tax now existing or that may hereafter be raised or levied for educational purposes shall be appropriated to or used by or in aid of any church, sectarian, or denominational school.
Yeah.
That's in the Constitution, and they just don't care.
Yeah, it's just such a misappropriation of the funds. It's disgusting.
And what they've done is they've said, no, but this is for the safety of the children.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to know what
always
other safety things they do for children.
Right.
Somebody taking the kids.
Oh, yeah. It's
Kentucky.
It's for the safety of the private school children.
But not for the public school children.
Well, I mean, that's
Well,
what
they're
they're
getting
saying. They get bussed.
Well, but I mean...
They get bussed. The public school children get bussed. But what about the poor private school children who don't get bused to school, whose parents can afford to,
pay the tuition for private school,
But
yet
can't
somehow
afford to get
can't
them to
get the
school.
kids to get school.
I would like to see the scientific study that looks at school deaths in private institutions before they were busing and after. I bet you they are very
Identical.
remarkably similar. Because not a lot of kids are dying on their way to school. That just doesn't happen much.
And I'd really like to see what other things what other things Kentucky spins on as child safety issues.
Right.
Because I'm sure there are plenty other things that are good social programs that could look out for the welfare of of children that they've probably been cutting from their budget.
Yeah. There's a Reverend Patrick Delahunty, who is executive director of the Catholic Conference of Kentucky, whom dare greatly, in the chat room, she has changed their name from Catholic Conference of Kentucky with CCK to KKK.
Yeah. Somehow I think it's pretty fitting.
appropriate,
Right?
Yeah.
And he says that some parents, frankly, don't trust the government and that they don't want their kids to be in a government school brainwashed by secularism.
Oh no.
So they don't trust the government, but they're going to give their kids at the curb, they're going to walk their kids to the curb, hand them to the government, ship them onto Soylent Green buses, and ship the kids off.
Onto Soylent Green buses?
Well, obviously.
Soylent Green. Yeah.
You don't know what Soylent Green
No,
is?
no, I know what Soylent Green is, but
didn't
I'm
catch
kind
it
of
either. You're
wondering.
not
I'm
alone.
wondering why the.
I'm
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I'm saying if you don't trust the government, why are you putting your kids on government buses? Either you trust the government with your kids or you don't.
Yeah.
One or the other. Don't tell me that the reason you need $3 million of my money, if I've lived in Kentucky, is because you don't trust the government when you need that $3 million to give your damn kid to the government on the curb of the car.
You have $3 million?
I do. Do you want some?
Dude, yeah.
Dude.
No, I mean, this... never mind.
They don't like the government unless the government is subsidizing their cult.
Yeah.
That's what they like. That's the kind of government they like. They like the government who is pro their prayer, anti other people's prayer, pro the people they like, anti the people they don't like, pro getting them to the schools they want, and anti the secular schools where people who don't share their faith are educated. Oh my gods.
This irritates me because I now have a different view of Kentucky. It used to be just horses and bourbon, and now it's this.
But isn't that also where the Creation Museum is too?
Yes.
Well, I try to block Kev out of my brain.
Oh, Kev. So somehow I'm actually kind of not terribly surprised,
Neither am I, really.
considering the company that they're in Kentucky, but still at the same time, it's just still disgusting.
Yeah, what she said.
I had one other thing to add to
You
the.
always have one other thing to add.
I know. Can you blame me? Look at all this wonderful wisdom I'm bestowing upon you poor saps, you peasants, and except for Jeff.
GFY.
And the Hulk girl.
The only other white
Just
male in
Jack.
the room has privilege here with the white male in the room.
Minorities, man, minorities.
I've always admitted to my privilege.
You're not a minority.
Jerk.
You're just trodden upon.
Downtrodden.
So this Reverend Patrick Delahanty of the KKK. I wanted to bring out one more quote from this guy. He says, quote, "We believe parents have a right to choose a school other than public." And I'm right there with this guy. He has every right to do that. On their own flippin' dime,
Yeah,
they have
absolutely.
a right to do that. He goes on to say, and if they do not have the means to pay for that cost themselves, then the state, in our opinion, has an obligation to help them with it. That's why I don't feel at all badly about asking for a small sum of money for transportation.
I just want to punch this guy in the face.
Right?
And I want to know what kind of world he lives in where $3.5 million is a small sum of money.
That's what I was going to say. I just want to ask him for a small sum of money.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
Hey,
yeah,
can you spare $3 million?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a small sum.
Yeah. I mean, you're white and male, so you probably have a better chance of getting it than, some brown dude walking up to him with long hair. Hey, dude, can I get some money? Like, just a couple mil,
Especially if you
man.
say it like that.
Hey, dude, how you doing, dude?
I wouldn't
Like,
trust you.
Do you trust me now? I mean, really.
Good point. Anyway, before we move on, I actually want to remind everybody of, well, at the moment, we really only have one upcoming event, but I'm really excited about this because this is really, really awesome. On June 5th, we are going to have blogger Greta Christina. She is atheist, feminist, sex positive, sex workers' rights advocate, blogger.
Speaker,
Yeah.
Wonder Woman.
She is basically like the raddest of the rad, and she is going to be on our show on June 5th. We're going to be reviewing her latest book. It's called Coming Out Atheist. She actually did a lot of research. I think we talked about this. We talked about this last week with her research for the book, and
I really like her mindset, but somebody said the book's really big,
Yes, it is.
which is a
It's
problem for Jay.
How far into it are you,
yeah,
Jay?
how far into it are you?
You want to take guesses? Anybody want to take guesses?
Not at all.
Zero.
Hey, I can't complain at you because I haven't started reading it yet, actually.
I
'cause
win. Oh,
I
how
keep
far are
I
you, Jay?
did. I'm not that far. I'm about 15%. It's Kindle pages,
Oh, okay.
so
I'm probably around that too.
But my problem is I'm reading Demon Haunted World right now too,
Skip
and it's
it.
really, really hard to put down Sagan. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Just do it. We've only got like 3 weeks left. So do you people?
3 weeks?
Something like that, yeah. We've got 3 weeks.
Oh my god, we do.
21 days, 400 pages, go. And those of you listening, read along with us. Pick up the book on the Kindle. Pick it up in your bookstore, Amazon, wherever.
Yeah.
Read along with us. We'll be taking your live calls, so call in and talk to Greta Christina.
Yeah. Think about what you want to say to her.
I'm being really cocky about our technology. Don't look at me.
Okay. So are we gonna open up the phone lines?
We can try.
Okay. So if you guys want to call in, you know the drill by now. Even though none of you actually call because you're all bastards. 515-51-WAVES. That's 515-519-2387. Give us a call. Turn your crap down and have something to say. Or don't have something to say. Just make words come out of your mouth. You don't have to necessarily know what you're going to say.
You don't have to have a purpose for it.
Yeah, if you want to talk about poop chutes and garbage trucks going up the wrong road or whatever that was.
I really love the look.
This is the most horrified look I've ever seen on Kristen's
Oh my
face.
god.
I just want to add ball smacking to this. Like, let's slap sex, buddy.
I press Command Q. It's the worst thing that's ever happened to me on the show.
What the fuck is Command Q?
It closes
Quit.
everything.
Hey, at least you're not recording on your computer this time.
Yeah, true. Well, I mean, if everybody else is going to talk about poop shoots and Ferris closing everything down.
Oh, we should make that board game. Poop shoots and ladders. I don't know, something.
I have a feeling it's already been done.
Poop shoots and bladders?
all about the waste system. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, all of my hard limits.
So while y'all are talking about that, I want to talk about Saturn because this is actually really cool because I really like space. So about last month, an article was published in the online journal Icarus about a disturbance in the outer ring of Saturn that could potentially be leading to a new moon. Now, Saturn already has 62 moons. 53 of them are official, 9 of them are provisional. But whenever they found this disturbance, which is a 750-mile long and 6-mile wide disturbance, they are theorizing the study is concluding that it is a result of the gravitational force from something off of it. The new moon, as I guess they're technically calling it, the baby moon, has been deemed Peggy, which I believe is after the main man in the study, after his mother-in-law. It's kind of nice.
Or he's just really, really scared and trying to appease the woman.
Maybe
mother-in-law?
Or mother-in-law.
But it also
not
did
right.
say, I think, that article that they theorized that it would probably pull apart on its own forces.
Yeah, they
something
said
like
it was
that.
only like
Yeah.
it was only about half
That's
a mile
why
big.
he
So it
named it after his
might have been
mother-in-law.
wishful thinking. That's what I'm saying.
But yeah. He
Sorry.
please tell me that's your
What
son.
was that?
That was a call, but I screwed it up.
Oops.
Okay. Should we ask them to call again?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a second. Let me
Okay.
fix this.
Hold, please.
Anyway, so they discovered this because Cassini was passing by, and they are in 2016. Cassini should actually be close enough to get pictures of Peggy herself. So that's really exciting. It's really cool. It's sort of the only real birth of a moon that we have seen, that we've been able to catch. So I think it's really
pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
like
nifty.
dude. Space is cool. All sorts of crazy stuff happens out there, and it's an ever-expanding universe, and there's so much we need to discover.
Hey, call us back, guys.
Yeah,
Whoever the hell
whoever
called
that
us.
was, call us back.
Okay, awesome. Here we go. Don't fuck it up this time.
You're on the air with Atheist Airwaves. Who is this?
This is Red.
Hey, Ren, how you doing?
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
All right.
Can you hear? Yeah, we're good. What do you got for us?
Yeah, I can hear you. I was earlier in the show. Y'all had mentioned cannibalism very, very shortly, and I actually had a conversation with a friend just recently about this, and about printed meat and lab-grown meat. If you could print out, like, say, some of your own muscle tissue and then grill it up for friends and family, you know, would that be something acceptable, or would that be too far gone, and would there be any religious things that would come up that would stop people from not wanting to ingest, you know, human meat, even though it didn't technically come from a person who was grown in a lab?
Somebody is going to come up with a religious objection to it. They're going to find some scripture to twist around
I'm sure.
for the argument.
I'm in, though.
Yeah, go eat yourself.
Yeah, that's
I like
cool. You would eat yourself all the time if you could.
I'm not touching.
That was the point.
No, it's very Hannibal Lecter though. That's kind of
No, I like it. I would totally do it. I would have friends over, and we would all eat cloned meat of me. It would be awesome. It's like, this is my body.
You would be Jesus.
I was going to say that. That's exactly what they do already.
And I would do big arms. It would be awesome.
He's giving the big arms like in the Last Supper. Jesus doing big arms.
That's pretty great.
All right, we got another call. We're gonna take this next call. Thank you for calling.
Thanks, Rev.
Thank you.
Call from unknown caller. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
You might want to press 1.
To accept.
Hello, you're on Atheist Airwaves. Who are we speaking with?
Hello.
Hello.
Oh.
He hung up right as he started speaking. He
Call
or
back.
she.
Yeah, whoever that was, the unknown number.
Now that we're finally getting calls, maybe we can work this whole thing out.
Right?
Yeah.
We'll kick the tires and make. Oh, here he comes again.
Huh.
You're back on Atheist Airwaves.
Hello.
Who is this, and what do you got for us? Hello? Oh man.
Okay, that one's not gonna work.
That's not gonna.
I don't
work
recognize that area code.
I don't either.
What was the area code?
760?
That,
Someone look it up real quick.
I think it's California. But it might.
All right, we're gonna.
It is.
Yeah,
It's
Escondido.
Escondido. Let's try it one more time.
Let's try it
Fuck
one
it.
more time, and then we're out. All right, you've got one more shot at this. What's your name? Are you listening to your computer at the moment?
Hello.
Anybody there?
Whatever you've got going in the background is really jamming.
All right, fuck it, get him.
Never call our show again.
Okay,
Figure
sorry.
out your. Okay, I'm actually. Well, okay.
Let's leave it. Okay, so, yeah, what were we talking about, guys? I don't remember.
Well, I
Saturn,
just finished
baby
talking
moon, but we're
about
done.
Saturn, and that was really, really cool.
Saturn
so-
pooped a moon. Okay. Do we want to do that?
Yeah, okay.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Try it again?
Let's go. Hello, you're on Atheist Airwaves. What is your name?
Hi, this is Dylan.
Hey, Dylan, what you got for us?
Hey, I was reading the comments on there. That was pretty funny. Hey,
We're
If
hilarious.
you want me to, what?
I was gonna say we are hilarious, and so is our chat room. But go ahead.
Yeah.
What can we do for you?
Yeah, I like. All I can think of is when you're talking about Soylent Green. All I can think of is Soylent Green is my kind of people.
Yeah.
I love horrible jokes, man.
You know what? You know what though? You combine that with what Reb was saying earlier, and I mean, you could have Soylent Green made out of yourself. If you could do a cheek swab, send it away to a company, and they will send you back cans of your own organic meat in Soylent Green cans. Wouldn't you have to do that?
Oh, absolutely.
Potted Susan meat?
Yes. I would want. Could I have a swab? I want She-Hulk meat in my Soylent Green can.
You wouldn't like being a angry.
Oh wow. Okay, so did you have something else to talk about, Dylan?
Not much.
All right, cool, man. Thanks for calling.
All I can think of is Chris was saying all that stuff about gay sex. He's really starting to worry me.
Well, don't worry because gay sex is awesome. Thanks for calling.
You should try it. Okay.
Rebel 1852 in the chat room pertaining to the Soylent Green talk says, I'd want a steak.
I get that. That's horrible.
I'm out of the chat room. I'm not going to start because the last time I did that, I spewed music all over Daryl Ray. So you're in charge of chat room comments now.
You did what?
I spewed music all over Daryl Ray.
That's a really weird way to say that, buddy.
Yes. All right. So moving on to Cosmos. The War on Christmas is nothing compared to the War on Cosmos. And from both sides. Every single time an episode comes out, it's like the bombardment begins. The artillery from this side.
Yeah, because they just keep chucking spears at everything
Yeah.
that they should be chucking spears at.
Right.
I love it.
So most recently, Jay Richards, who is a senior fellow of the Discovery Institute, which great A organization, bunch of creationists. He wrote some ridiculous nonsense about the first episode of Cosmos that included this passage. The producers spent 1/4 of the first episode telling a misleading story about Giordano Bruno, a 16th century Dominican, burned at the stake for a laundry list of unrepentant heresies. He wasn't a scientist and had virtually nothing to do with the history of science. But Cosmos needed a martyr for science, and since there were none available, Bruno would have to do.
None available?
None available, of course
Right.
not. I think it's really funny that whenever...
Absolutely none.
Yeah. None at all.
I've been racking my brain. I can't come up with... no.
More than 7?
Right.
Anyway.
I mean, but even putting that aside, I mean, you put aside the fact that Galileo was imprisoned for life.
Yeah.
You put aside what they did to Copernicus.
Copernicus, yes.
Put him in fear so that he couldn't even publish his book while he was alive. Let's just examine his thought here, which was, it's okay that we put this guy to death by setting him on fire because he wasn't a scientist, guys. This is no less damning of your religion than if the guy hadn't been a crackpot who accidentally had real ideas about the the solar system.
But I think
he's a heretic.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
So obviously we had to set him on fire.
Of course. That's the only way to deal with it. What I think is really funny is every time that, you know, they accurately represent history and what happened and how the church was really, really horrible, they get all sorts of up in arms about it. And it's like, do you not realize the history of your own church?
They don't.
They don't.
They don't.
That's why they're still Christian. And it's kind of like, show me a person who actually knows the history of the church and their religion, and I'll show you somebody who's very close to becoming an atheist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what she said.
But reading the tweets after each episode of Cosmos is really entertaining because everybody starts going, God of the gaps, and you know, we know how the universe started and it was God. It's like, really, just stop.
Have you seen there's more stories out there about Cosmos being interrupted in various markets?
Oh, yeah.
So I think it was Colorado and some other place. And we know that it was Oklahoma the first week where they interrupted it just when they were getting to evolution.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'm buying all of the atheist conspiracy theory stuff, but I don't hear about a lot of other shows that are having the level and consistency of problems that Cosmos is, but I also don't know that we would hear about it if it were any other story. So I'm not sure I buy it as a thing.
Yeah,
entirely.
people just bitch about, American Idol getting cut off for 15 seconds. They don't, it's not a news sensation.
Yeah, and we have a lot more of a vested interest in Cosmos than we do in really any other show that's on right now, except maybe Game of Thrones.
Although the only TV show I watch, period, is Cosmos.
Nice.
That's it.
Nice.
And I honestly don't even watch it live. I just
I
go
don't
ahead
either.
and wait.
Yeah, so do I. Okay, I take that back. I'm still catching up on Archer, but whatever.
I will say the one time I have absolutely, and I threw a mega hissy fit when I was living in St. Louis. Blues were in the playoffs. It was overtime, sudden death, and the local cable channel flipped over to like headline news or something and stopped playing the.
Can we not talk about hockey?
Okay, sorry, bro.
Thank you.
Sorry, we're still.
Is he butthurt about hockey right now?
We're still in mourning.
That fucking garbage truck? Yeah, I'm butthurt. Sorry.
So I also want to say, how are people still enjoying Cosmos?
It's amazing. It's not getting.
I still love it.
Yeah, I absolutely. There's nothing to not love.
But I also just really love Cosmos in general. Like, I love the original series because obviously I really love Carl Sagan.
You just like the black science guy.
Same.
I love Neil deGrasse Tyson.
All right, we got another call.
All right, let's take it.
You're on the air with Atheist Airwaves. What's your name and what can we do for you?
Hi, this is Dare Greatly. Can you hear me?
We can.
Hello.
Absolutely.
Hey, Susie Q.
Hi, honey.
I'm just gonna ask my question and then I'm gonna hang up so that we don't have a lot of the confusion.
Excellent.
But I
Thank you.
shared a news story with Susan earlier in the week about a woman who has been sentenced to, I think, to some sort of jail time for the outcome of her pregnancy. She was a drug addict, and
In
she was
Tennessee.
sentenced in a state where there's very little access to abortion clinics.
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Yeah, we're listening.
So she has the background on that, but I'd like to hear y'all's take on that. I'm going to go ahead and hang up, okay?
Awesome. Thanks for contributing. Okay,
So,
I'm
yeah,
not
the
really
story
familiar with
behind
this.
this, let me...
Although I gotta say, I feel very, very conflicted about stories like this, and so I think I'm not sure how this is gonna
bringing
go.
up-
But
I'm bringing up the story because it was in the title of the article is it's official. Tennessee becomes the first state to jail women for pregnancy outcomes, and the thing behind it was the original the woman in question in this was a drug addict, and she had been doing drugs during her pregnancy because you can't just stop cold turkey a lot of times you
Right.
have to detox and wean yourself off of them. There had been she'd been taking them during the very sort of important times in the pregnancy,
right.
so it ended up that the child had birth defects or was born premature or something along those lines. I'm trying to find where that went. My page 1. Here we go. And because of this outcome with the child, because the child ended up dying, because of the outcome with this, she was charged with murder, with infanticide.
I'm sorry.
She didn't. And
was the baby stillborn or did it die after birth?
I believe it died after. Let me find. Hold on. I'm trying to find where it went.
To me, this is tricky, and I'm totally open to having myself beaten up about it. But
Well, the way that I look at it is that what it's focusing on is the fact that in Tennessee there is not a lot of reproductive health care for women, and especially if because there is a prevalence of women who are drug addicts and everything who end up pregnant, and because they don't have the access to abortion or to
Sure.
prenatal care or anything like that.
although prenatal care is not going to help you if you're doing hardcore
Well,
drugs.
yeah, and a lot of times they will choose to not go to the doctor because they do have to do drug tests,
Sure.
and if they end up
Right.
testing positive for anything during the pregnancy, even if it's a matter of them getting off of whatever drugs they're on, if they test positive for anything, then they are going to be charged with child endangerment and stuff like
Sure.
that. And what bugs me about that is because they don't have this access to abortion, then it's pretty much like, okay, you don't have the access to terminate this pregnancy, you have to go through with this pregnancy. And if they go through with this pregnancy while they are still using drugs because they are addicted, because they
Right.
cannot, they can't just, like I said, can't just stop cold turkey, it's like,
Right.
there's just a huge sort of disconnect with...
Yeah, I'm conflicted on that as well.
And like you brought up, they can't go through treatment because that's like indicting themselves right there.
Yeah.
If they go through treatment and the outcome ends up being bad, regardless of the treatment, they can be jailed because of the outcome.
Right.
And, a lot of things can happen before you even know you're pregnant.
It's compounding bad decisions.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure, absolutely.
It's a whole bunch of unintended consequences of stupid laws, of trap laws, and all that stuff. I mean, because I really do think that if you are intending on having a child and you are ingesting substances that or any reasonable person should know are going to destroy that child's life, I think that's a problem.
Yeah, but
I know that's a
that's operating
Sure.
under the assumption that they are intending on
to.
having the child. Yeah, and that's the thing.
Exactly what I'm saying.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is that the law should reflect reality and sanity, which is if this woman does not want to have this child, is not capable of having that child, she should have another option.
Exactly.
And this is why pro-life people shoot themselves in the foot every single time. They oppose rational sex education. They oppose birth control. They oppose, abortion rights. And then they want to turn around and be angry about the results of those choices that they've made in our society, which is completely messed up.
Yeah.
Sure. I don't know if anyone's even going to know the answer to this question, but I know I've lived in places where women who give birth to children with fetal alcohol syndrome are charged with crimes. I'm almost positive that's true.
Yeah. I mean, because it is endangering a child.
Yeah.
Technically, they are. I mean, it is. I do have a problem with them calling it endangerment of a child because
it's not really a child when it happens.
Yeah,
Well,
it's not a child when it happens, and I understand. If it ends up that the child does
That's why
birth defects and everything, but there's a lot of really gray areas with this, and they're very much making it. They're trying very, very hard to make it completely black and white.
Right. And I think that's exactly where I was going with it, which is it's a very complex issue that does not lend itself to black and white solutions.
Yeah.
That's why I've been saying repeatedly that anti-abortion is the way to go, because that's the common ground you can find. Where you can say, how do we stop abortions from happening? Rational sex education, access to birth control, education of all kinds will lead to a reduction in abortions, because any rational person would want there to be fewer abortions. So that, because it's expensive.
Yeah.
Often women like this person, she's probably, I don't know whether it says whether she's poverty stricken or not. I assume that's the case.
Yeah.
Okay, so question on that topic, and I haven't seen it. I've seen it pop up in my feed on a couple of different things. There's apparently a woman who videotaped her abortion to show that it wasn't a
to
scary
show that
thing.
it's not.
I haven't seen anything.
Deal.
I haven't read anything about it.
Do you want to take that to post show?
Well, I was about to say, guys, we're going on 2 hours. Let's move to post show.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Sure.
Thank you for listening to Atheist Airwaves on Secular FM Radio. We're sponsored by Corpus Christi Atheists and the South Texas Coalition of Reason. If you'd like to compliment, complain, or make a suggestion, please write to us at god@atheistairwaves.com. And we are officially post-show. Should I stop this, save it, and create a new one?
Keep going.
Okay, cool.
But I want to thank everyone for their calls. Awesome calls today. Keep it up. We'd love to hear your calls. And we'll see you next Wednesday. We're going to do a day early probably.
I think it's going to be Wednesday.
Look on our Facebook group, Atheist Airwaves, on Twitter and Facebook.
Atheist
see you guys.
Airwaves, yes. You
Traffic jam of a million with no idea ancestry reptilian.
What?
Don't give me control.
I'm back in the chat room.
Yay. Okay. One thing I do really, really want to point out about this thing is in the state of Tennessee, only 2 of the state's 177 addiction treatment facilities. Are you doing something with my boobs?
No, what kind of sick pervert are you?
Well, dear greatly in the chat room earlier goes cleavage. God damn it, Jay.
She's really looking.
Sorry, Mom. Anyway, of the 177 addiction treatment facilities in the state of Tennessee, only 2 of them actually can provide on-site prenatal care, and only 19 of those offer any sort of addiction care specifically geared towards pregnant women. So it's kind of like it's almost as if they specifically say, okay, if you are a drug addict and you happen to get pregnant, I can't.
Don't pound on the table.
I'm fine. If you're a drug addict and you happen to get pregnant, you have 2 options. You can either go to jail as a result of being a drug addict and getting pregnant, because chances are you're not going to be able to have an abortion, or you can quit cold turkey, and quitting cold turkey and withdrawal symptoms are going to be a lot more harmful to a pregnancy. Like, they're going to be extremely harmful. So it's kind of they
damned if you do, damned if you don't.
yeah, and that really bothers me.
And if the results end up being bad, you end
Yeah.
up getting blamed for it.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Yeah, so it's kind of like they are focused more on punishing these women than actually helping them.
Because it's not a problem to be solved. It's sin to be eradicated.
Exactly. They're doing drugs and they're getting pregnant and blah blah blah.
Once I realized how late we were going, I shut down the phones. The phones are now open, so if anyone has thoughts on this, feel free to call in. 5151 waves.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. So hold on. About the video with the chick who filmed her abortion.
yeah.
What happened with that? I was curious. I didn't get a chance to watch it.
Let me.
Okay, we don't know. Excellent.
Nobody
watched the abortion.
I saw a couple of different articles about it, and there were a lot of people who basically had said, you know, why would somebody do this? This is so tasteless. But
There's a fucking microphone on the board. That's where we're picking it up from.
You're a lion.
There's a microphone on the board. Sorry.
Why don't mute all of our channels and then
Are we still recording? We're still recording.
probably.
Hold on. Check,
Are we
check,
still
check,
recording?
check,
We're still recording.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I don't know.
You
what that
lie.
is. Whatever. Okay, sorry. I just saw that, and that's the source of our confusion. Sorry to derail that fucking shit. And we can say fuck now. Fuck, fuckity fuck.
Yeah.
It's post fucking show.
Do you fucking hate us, Susan?
I fucking hate all of you.
Can you fucking even?
I can't fucking even. You know, do you know why little preppy white girls only hang out in odds? Because they can't even.
You know how weird it
I
is?
fucking hate you.
Do you know how weird it is to talk to someone and watch them speak when only thing you can see is their eyes and above their fucking... That's what I was doing the entire show. I'm just like...
I saw you doing like...
This is weird.
Go fuck yourself.
I mean, because I'm just sitting here, like, all I see is eyes. It's just... It's strange.
Anyway, so there's she's a woman in New Jersey. She's actually an abortion counselor. Her name is Emily Letts. She took a pregnancy test on a whim. It turned out she was pregnant.
You know she has two sisters.
Oh yeah.
They're the triple Letts. Yeah. It's post show.
That was a good one.
I thought
no, it was not.
I thought
that was wonderful.
That was excellent.
I love horrible jokes. This is why I love hanging out with you, is because I love horrible jokes.
My jokes are not horrible.
Your jokes are bad. That was great. I thought we were going with the Dogma reference about why else would you hang out at the abortion clinic?
Pick up chicks because you know they're gonna put out.
Yeah.
I
Why else would they be
apologize.
here?
That was really fucking horrible.
Why
Oh my-
else would they
why
be
did that
here?
just fucking come out of my mouth? Oh my god.
It's
Somebody fucking
that's
shoot
the
me.
quote from the movie. More or
I know,
less.
but still, I just still feel so horrible. Anyway, so she's actually an abortion counselor, and she turned out she was pregnant, and she counseled all these girls about, you know, going through the abortions and everything, and they had a lot of people who were always nervous about it, and she had said she'd never. What the fuck? I don't want
He's like doing drugs over here or something. Just ignore him. Continue.
Rebel 1850 dude who goes, that joke was bad and you should feel bad.
That's true. I do feel bad, but it kind of feels good too. In a naughty,
I am
naughty
never
way.
ever gonna finish talking about this woman.
Are you
am
having
I?
an issue with the garbage?
Yeah, right. Yeah, the truck's backing up the one-way alley.
Anyway,
so she's
Sorry.
Triple Letts is
she's an abortion counselor. She had counseled, you know, many
Summarize.
women before these abortions, and she had never had one, but she, you know, whenever she ended up pregnant and she had to have one, she decided, I'm going to film this so I can let people know that it's not as scary as you think it is.
So is it an abortion selfie basically? Is that what? It is.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like she takes a video of the entire
That's
procedure.
a really weird picture. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
there's-
Get, see if you can. I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not.
Let me see if I can actually.
Make it bigger.
Nah, that's what she
Ah,
said.
that's horrible. I'm such a bad person. We all know that.
Oh, there. Oh. She's so high. This is really bad radio. Let's.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you can watch the video. We'll link
Yeah,
it. We'll
anyway.
link it somewhere somehow.
Yeah,
Something.
I will get that in the Atheist Airwaves on the Facebook group.
Ball sackery.
You are so bad at camera work, Jay.
Well, if you gave me a fucking decent
The
thing.
cleavage cam was pretty good, but the rest of this shit is.
It won't
I am never wearing this fucking shirt ever
Let me do
again.
it. Give it to me. Give me the fucking thing. All right.
Are you two done now?
No, but
So you're having the same problem I did. It's
No, I'm
just
not.
Turpin.
I can solve this problem. Unlike you.
Hey, you know what?
Problem solved. Continue. So I don't know. I mean, I guess I understand.
What the.
This post show sucks.
It's a horrible post.
The main reason she had behind doing it was because she had a lot of women who would come to her for counseling, and she would say, well, I never had an abortion, but... So she felt in filming this, she could really allow women to understand that it's not as scary as they would think it is, because, you know, there's so much stress surrounding the procedure, whether, you know, you go through the surgical or the medical. And she's like, I'm gonna release this. I'm gonna make it so that it's out there, because there's so few people are actually willing to talk about abortion. They can say, oh, I am pro-choice, I am, you know,
Right, but
whatever.
talking about the actual.
Yeah, but actually saying the word abortion, a lot of people are very, very resistant to.
Well, and I think that the other thing is that there is a lot of misinformation out there about
definitely.
abortions and what the health consequences of it
Yeah.
are, because these pro-life groups are very invested in making sure that there are misconceptions and people think that there are bad things that are going to happen to them if that's what they choose to do.
And the counseling, part of the counseling was playing just, you know, horrible videos. They
Right.
put them in. They'd be 30-minute videos of, you know, and it was, they were all pretty slanted. I've seen those videos before. They're not very straight up. I mean, they're these are the dangers that you face.
Right.
In getting an abortion. They don't say that the dangers of getting an abortion are so much less than going through a full-term pregnancy.
Yeah, and they're actually, if you Google PTSD abortion, a good majority of what you're going to find. No, I have Googled this stuff before because I got into an argument with somebody on Reddit.
I've never heard of that, but go ahead.
Because a lot of the anti-choice people are going to say, oh, you know, you can have PTSD as a result, but if you Google PTSD abortion, most of the results that you are going to have are the sort of anti-choice stuff, the pro-life groups,
right,
and a lot of the crisis pregnancy centers that kind of pretend to be, you know, women's centers that are just the anti-choice stuff. But if you Google PTSD birth, like giving birth, you get medical results, you get scientific journals, you get actual solid evidence.
Right.
Not to mention postpartum depression.
Exactly.
The other I was just thinking back to when we went to kind of protest the pro-life prayer rally.
Guys, that was a shitty protest.
Yeah, it was.
It was a shitty counter protest.
Well, no, I'm all right. I'm going to debate. I'm going to agree and disagree at the same time, because on the one hand, I agree because we should have had more people there.
Yeah.
On the other hand, it was super effective, especially when it was super effective.
No,
it was super effective, especially when we came up with the idea of putting up the honk for choice sign, and their prayers were being disrupted by honking cars.
Okay,
well,
the honking thing, okay, but the thing is that they were right when they said, hey guys, we're here every week. They're honking because they think you're us.
That's
no,
not
it
true.
Is. It is. I believe wholeheartely that it's true.
No.
Because, this is why I think it's true, is because the signs that were made were over the head of people who were in Corpus Christi. Almost, with the exception of maybe two of those signs, they looked at a glance like pro-abortion, like anti-abortion, pro-life
but
signs.
It said honk for choice, though.
It did not start until we put that sign up.
Yeah.
So I disagree. My sign was way over the head of most people, which is why I went around. Which is why I went around the corner.
What was your sign?
My sign was 1973 called, and they wanted their social policy back.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
but a lot of the signs were very my body, my choice.
Yeah.
Some
Thank God
some
for
of them
Dr.
were put on.
Aquino.
The thank God for Dr. Aquino thing I thought was really, really silly. I mean,
They're not gonna read that.
Okay, and then the one that I was handed, it was really silly too. It made great sense if you fucking think about it, and you have the ability to have some higher thought. It was a coat hanger with the cross through it, the no coat hanger thing.
Slashy.
Right, and it said what the hell did it say? I forget exactly what the word.
It doesn't matter.
Well, it looked like at a glance.
I don't think it
looked
matters.
like pro-life.
I don't think it matters because the honking didn't start until we put that sign up.
Yeah.
And then after the fact, they wanted to try and take credit for it. I don't think what our sign said was at all important. I really don't, because they knew
that it mattered that we were there.
And
they didn't know because we were flanked on both sides by people that were there every week.
I've got empirical evidence that you're wrong.
Okay.
The crazy fucking lady from across the street. That was amazing. She was not even on the road. She saw our signs and knew exactly what we were doing. All right, so I disagree with you intensely. Tell me, that woman wasn't even in possession of all her faculties, and she understood what those signs meant. That one was
the honk for choice, and the other one you mentioned, absolutely yes. But we were flanked on both sides by people who were there all the time. We were not.
No. Not until they wanted to start taking credit for the honking.
Okay, well that was the majority. That was the majority of the time that we were there.
No.
Yeah.
But
anyway,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It really doesn't matter. We're arguing some stupid shit.
My point was that I saw the women who were flanking us. Their sign said "Women do regret abortions," and this is the kinds of stuff that they want to throw at you. At the same time, I don't know that this video really counters any of the misconceptions that the right is pushing, because the right is pushing things like you're going to get cancer, you're going to really regret it later on,
you're going to become infertile and stuff like that. I think it's less so for that sake, less so for the sake of trying to counter any other arguments, and more for the women who are going and seeing her or are trying to make that decision of whether or not they want to go through with terminating a pregnancy with an abortion. They can watch this and go, okay, she is, a woman who's about my age, who is about my socioeconomic status, and she went through this. She essentially sort of holds your hand through it and lets you know this is what's happening, this is what they're doing. And I think that can ease a lot of the fears of the women who are sort of going, I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know what it's going to be like. So I think in that sense it can be very, very beneficial for
I agree. Women. I think what she's doing is probably a really good thing. Again, I haven't seen the video, but
okay. So there was another link that I saw going around. I just like this one, I saw it, I didn't click on it. There was something about Yahoo putting up
NARAL pushed for Yahoo to take down whenever you would Google abortion. NARAL pushed for them because you would Google abortion and a whole bunch of the crisis pregnancy center links would come up.
Oh, I saw this
so
too.
They NARAL actually got Yahoo to stop doing that.
Well, what she's talking about doing is what they got them to stop doing. Was posting the links for groups that were masquerading as
Right. Okay, so I pulled it up. So the example they have on the site here is if you Googled abortion clinic Naperville, Illinois, what would come up is abortion procedures, pregnanthelp.com, and pregnanthelp.com is not an abortion provider. It's a pro-life.
Right.
We're going to lie to you and make you feel bad until you do what we want you to do and choose what we want you to choose.
They were pushing people into the hands of psychologically damaging and not helpful people.
Yeah, I've actually got the email from NARAL, quoting it because they always say.
What is NARAL?
North American Reproductive something that's down at the bottom of the email.
Because it sounds like narwhal, so I was like, what the...
No, it's not that.
Yeah, no, it's not. It says, we just celebrated a major victory when Google took down a slew of deceptive anti-choice ads, sparing women from being tricked and lied to. But we can't stop now. When you search for abortion clinics on Yahoo, the majority of the ads that show up are funded by anti-choice groups. We're joining with Ultraviolet to call on Yahoo Yahoo to follow Google's lead and take down ads that intentionally lie to women facing an unplanned pregnancy. They actually have a petition going on now. If anybody wants a link to it, I will be more than happy to send it to you.
Okay, so NARAL is often used as a short form of the name. The organization was formerly known as the National Association for the Repeal of Abortion Laws, then the National Abortion Rights Action League, and later the National Abortion and Reproductive Rights Action League.
Damn, they came up with a lot of acronyms or a lot of words to fit into the same acronym. How do you describe that?
To me, that's like schism, schism, schism. You know?
Well, I mean, the bowl-a-thon that Hecky Stevens and I did, was for Lilith Fund, and they work very closely with the National Network of Abortion Funds and NARAL and stuff like that. And Lilith Fund is just the Texas branch of it, and I mean that's I've done that 3 years in a row now. So the women's reproductive health and stuff like that, that's stuff that's really, really like a big deal to me. Like that's my issue. Some people have their hot button, I can go on about this for ages thing, and abortion and reproductive health and reproductive rights and stuff is mine.
What's yours, Jeff?
I don't know if I have one. Not one in particular.
What's yours? Atheism?
My what?
What's your
hot button issue? Your big one.
Let's not talk about his big one.
Let's talk about my big one.
Can we not?
I think my big one is.
Why did you look at me like
because
that?
Because you went, ow, and we're talking about his big one.
Across the table.
I know, it's like a 6-footer.
I fucking hate all of you. Aw, you ass.
Okay, but I think it's broad. It's
welcome to post show.
My big one has girth. It's really just equality and equal treatment, and that encompasses a lot of things. Atheism really isn't my big issue because I am more comfortable as a white, straight, cisgendered male. I am so uninterested in advancing my own rights and issues.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like, holy shit, I've hit a home run. How can I sit here and spend most of my time dealing with my own shit?
Yeah.
So I am more concerned with, that's why, when Corpus Christi Community Radio, go fuck yourselves.
Oh yeah, and that shit's
go eat yourselves. I'm using go eat yourself now.
Do you want to talk about that?
We should probably talk about that in a second too.
Yeah.
Go eat yourself?
Yes.
No, CCCR.
Why would we talk?
So when they first,
there's new shit.
Because I'm being sued. You don't know this? All right, we're gonna talk about this in a second.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's gonna finish this.
I'm gonna finish my thought first, but then we're gonna talk about this. Okay. So, when the board of Corpus Christi Community Radio came to me and they said, "We want you to hide the atheist show because we want to bring on people who will not come on if they see atheists."
Or gaydar, too.
Well, it was the gaydar that made me comfortable saying okay, for two reasons. When they just said us, I found it hard to take the hard line that I ultimately took. Mm-hmm. What made it easy was their inclusion of gaydar.
Yeah.
Because I find it easier, again, as a white, straight, cisgendered male.
Yeah.
I find it easier to help other people with their issues, to be an ally, than I am to stand up and say, I'm a white, straight man and you must respect me. It's like I've got the most respect you can accumulate in one single lifetime. Whatever. The other reason was I firmly believe that ideas, my big one firmly believes that ideas are not worthy of respect. They're worthy of criticism. And atheism is worthy of criticism. Mostly it's stupid people who are criticizing it because atheism is an ironclad idea. But people do not... people have rights. Ideas do not have rights. So I think Catholicism is worthy of criticism. I think atheism is okay to criticize. But when you're talking about people's identity, whether that's gender, orientation, whatever, race,
Homelessness.
ethnicity,
Right.
whether you're a hobo or.
Thank you. Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
I'm with it. Let's talk about you getting sued.
Okay, so yesterday I got a message from Alicia Gallegos. Fucking liar, fucking scum of the earth, piece of crap.
Jeff, please let us know if there's anything that we shouldn't say because
No,
it
no,
could
no. I'm
potentially be incriminating.
No, no. This is
There's
why-
no incrimination here.
No. Everything I'm going to say is true. I'm not going to defame her. She has lied to me. She
Yeah,
is
true.
a piece of shit.
Well, not literally.
I don't have any evidence to the contrary, but probably, in all likelihood, you're correct.
There
that
are
if we
pieces
did
of
a
shit in her.
If we did a chemical analysis, probably it would come back negative.
Probably.
But I
Possible
don't.
deniability.
I don't have that scientific evidence in front of me at the moment.
Anyway.
All right. So she messaged me and said that she was going. Actually, hold on. I'll bring it up and I will read it to you. I will read it to you verbatim.
I love this so much.
And that way I can't get into trouble because I'm just going to tell you exactly what she said to me. And keeping in mind that she is a lying, sneaky,
probable piece of poop.
Horrible person, the worst person that you could ever run across. Do not trust this woman. She's a bigot enabler.
Is she a guy?
I have no evidence for or against.
Well, I only reason I ask is you have trust issues with.
And I
some
still
people.
think it's really, really funny how she was commenting on a South Texas politics thread earlier, and she said something to Justin, and like she said something like, "Oh, thank you, Justin," and he's all like, "You're not welcome." He's like,
Right.
"I don't intend on helping you," and she goes, "Do I know you?" And he goes, "Think really hard. It's gonna come to you in time."
Okay, so
she still stands.
I want to back up to January 8th because there's really limited communication I've had with this horrible, horrible human being since, we resigned from the board and said we'd like to continue to do Atheist Airwaves on the station, but we're not going to participate in an official capacity with a bunch of bigots. On January 8th, that was, I think, the day that they said, no, you can't even do your show here anymore. You're just gone.
Okay.
The last message she sent to me before she sent me an email saying you're gone is, I know you are better people than that, because she was accusing us of sabotaging the station, which is bullshit. So are we, which is also bullshit because they're bigot enabling, sneaky liars. Let me know if you can meet Monday. Thank you. Then all that went down, and then on March 26th at 5:29 a.m., because she crazy, she sent me another message. She said, "Hi, Christian. Miss seeing your children. Hope all of you are doing good." And that was the first time I had heard from her in 3 months.
Miss seeing your children.
Yes. Do not fucking talk. And I didn't respond to that because I'm like, do not fucking talk to me about my children.
Yeah.
When you lied about us, you are a bigot enabler and you can go to hell.
Okay.
So I did not respond to that. Then,
cut to the fucking chase.
Tuesday at 1:38, she says, as you know by now, I don't know why I would know this by now, Corpus Christi Community Radio has not been able to access website without Leslie's information. I have decided to sue you and Leslie in district court for damages and attorney's fees. Your refusal and Leslie's refusal to provide website access information led to this decision.
Have they even requested anything?
They have not.
No, they
have
haven't.
not. In fact, she admits this because I said, how would I know that? You haven't told me before now. She distributed all of the passwords to everyone involved at the beginning of the process. If you don't have them, you have yourself to blame on two fronts. You are a ridiculously awful person.
I love that response.
Yeah. I love how you are really, really comfortable with just telling people that they are just awful.
They're just terrible.
No,
Yeah.
okay, so that's the grounds on which she's suing you?
Yes.
Have you been served with papers?
No. She's,
Okay.
I don't. And to be honest,
It wouldn't
It's a
happen.
bluff.
It's not gonna
a
happen.
giant
It wouldn't
bluff.
happen
No.
before. I mean, if she had talked to any attorney, the attorney would say, "Look, don't even
contact.
She would be,
Yeah, don't
she would be
contact.
laughed
Let me
out.
write the letter."
Right. Okay.
Uh,
So it's a total bullshit bluff. You're not actually being
Yeah.
sued.
No.
And-
Well,
Okay. So hold on.
Well-
How is she suggesting that we, you, whomever sabotaged? They fucking locked us out and have our equipment.
Yeah, because Ferris and I went to go pick up the stuff because Justin's computer is still there. A whole bunch of that stuff that is
It's
in that
ours.
studio
Yeah.
belongs to Ferris. Ferris and to Leslie and to Justin. It's all
They
their
didn't even give us the
shit.
opportunity to get it. We went to go get it, and they fucking changed
They
the
just
locks.
changed the
well,
locks.
Well, right, exactly, and they're like, we have to be there, whatever. So I told her, how would I know that? You haven't told me before now. She says, I'm telling you now. Okay, great.
Here, let me threaten to sue you, but here, let me ask you for the stuff after I tell you.
What was your rebuttal?
So she says, I'm telling you now, she did not pass out all the information, Christian, and you know that, which is bullshit. She did. I remember exactly what the fucking spreadsheet looks like. Yeah. She said, I requested several times information so that I could access website, but didn't receive it. That is bullshit. The one thing that they did request, they sent me a message on, I think, January 28th, like 3 weeks later. They sent me an email saying, we want the password to Justin's computer.
Yeah.
Can you please provide that to us? Because we went and changed it after they changed the locks. We're like, you're not using our equipment.
Yeah.
If you're not, whatever.
To Justin's computer?
Yes.
Seriously.
That's Justin's machine.
And they also told me that the reason that they were afraid that we were going to try and take our equipment back, and that's why they changed the locks. So then when they changed the locks and they didn't realize that we could change the password remotely, they got pissed because they couldn't get into our fucking computer.
Yeah.
And you have that all written down?
Yes. Oh,
Yes.
yes.
That's
It's all
lovely.
completely documented.
She has absolutely no grounds for anything.
No,
and if it gets to court,
they're going
She's
to laugh
gonna be-
her
yeah,
right out.
She is going to be laughed.
this is like,
the
this is
hell
like
out.
Judge Judy shit.
Honestly, I think well before that, any other contact, you tell her, talk to my counsel.
Mm-hmm.
Send her straight to me.
Awesome.
All communication from here on goes through my counsel, Jeff Grime.
I like how we essentially have an attorney on retainer.
Right.
But I also want a list of all the equipment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be if she has the balls to contact me, the response letter is going to be long and it's going to include a total list of the equipment.
I'll get Justin to list what is his in that
And-
because he'll know.
And
Yeah.
honestly, if you want it preemptive, we can send it preemptive and say, "Hey, look, we want all of this. What you've
you are
done,
being informed
what you've
of-
done is conversion."
Yeah.
And I can get attorney's fees for this.
Right.
I probably can't, but I can still threaten it.
Yeah.
I have a better
if
chance.
If she can bluff, we can. Too.
I have a better chance of getting it for an intentional tort than she does for. I'm sorry, we don't remember what the password is.
Right.
And we never asked you for the password to anything that you claimed that we changed of yours.
What?
And she
So-
had all of that shit. That's what gets me.
Well, here's the other thing is that she contacted Raul like in April and said, hey, you did the website. Do you have the password? So we have ironclad. She didn't even know who had the damn password.
Yeah.
She thought someone else had it.
And she posted something on Facebook that was like, hey, does anybody know?
To Justin's computer? Is
Drupal.
that
No,
Drupal.
Drupal.
Drupal, which is...
It's in Drupal, and so, because, okay, let me finish what our conversation here is, because it all feeds into that. So she said that bullshit, and then she said, I am not to blame, nor am I a ridiculously awful person. We cannot access website to add and delete. Just thought I would let you know there isn't a need for name calling. So I responded, yes, you are to blame, and yes, you are a horrible person. Truly one of the most horrible people that I've ever had the misfortune to encounter.
And Ferris, you know a lot of really horrible people.
I do.
You're surrounded by 3 of them right now.
I said, you're a liar, you're sneaky, and you are good at neither. You have never asked me for that information, not once. You asked me for the computer password after you locked us out of the office. That's it. I do not currently have any of that information because I threw all of it away when you lied about why you were tossing us out. None of the website passwords have changed. If you have failed to keep good records of your business, that is again your problem. You have many ways of getting that information if you are smart enough to think of one. I don't have it. You fired us, remember? You are the reason I don't have a reason to have it. And yes, Leslie distributed a printout of all the passwords. I was there when she did it. She says, see you in court, Christian. And I said, I look forward to seeing what interesting new lies you can come up with for that, Alicia. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself.
She just, she
Wow.
She is realizing that she has no legal ground for anything.
I don't think she does.
So
She's not that smart.
She has absolutely no legal ground
Oh,
whatsoever.
I agree with that.
but she doesn't realize
She doesn't realize it.
Oh,
she
she
thinks
doesn't
she's got a case. I think she does.
It's just so ridiculous.
So, you know what? Like, I have 2 thoughts about this. One is, I really don't want the headache of having to go to court. Who wants that? At the same time, it would be such a clown show.
Oh,
I mean, if it even got to
would be
court, I would be
freaking
very surprised.
I doubt it. I doubt
it
it
would
would
actually
go that
get
far.
to court.
Yeah. It's so stupid. I mean, she didn't know, so she didn't ask for any passwords that to things that they own until April, and they didn't ask us. They didn't get around to asking me until May.
Yeah.
Almost 5 months after I resigned. I am not responsible for keeping your records after you release me.
Yeah.
That is your bullshit. Go fuck yourself, Alicia Gallegos.
All right then. Okay, so now that we're caught up on that, wow.
Anyone else got any post-show shit they want to talk about?
Not that needs to be aired.
I in my ranting, I lost track of the chat room.
Leslie says, "Yes, I want my monitor
I
back.
didn't know
My
she had a
other stuff too,
monitor.
but mainly my monitor." Derek Greeley says, "Was she drunk when she wrote this?" And apparently, 80 Contu just got home from work.
Hi, 80 Contu.
Hi, 80
Hope
Contu.
you had a good day.
Yeah. So.
All right. Yeah. Wow.
Does she have other people around her yes-manning her from Rebel?
Yas Manning?
Yas Manning.
Yas Manning?
Many very stupid people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like just the dumb people that she is. Because who was the other? Isabel was the other one, right?
I think-
and Isabel wasn't as bad as.
So it's really weird because I think Isabel just doesn't have a backbone. She sat back and let it happen. She's the only one I met with because when all this went down, we tried to set up a meeting to all talk together and I said, there's nothing you can say to bring me back, but I want everyone to understand the issues and I want us to all part friends, so let's meet. Alicia wanted to meet with Leslie and I, but Alicia had broadcast, and it's still on Ustream. You can still go see it. Go find Corpus Christi Community Radio. It's around end of December, beginning of January. You can see her and Isabel trying to figure out how to use the equipment because we did all the damn tech work. We built the thing. We were the only ones who knew how to use it because no one else would come in to get trained on it. And so Alicia is sitting there on the air, broadcasted, recorded. They still haven't fucking deleted it, saying, I think Leslie changed everything, and that's why nothing's working. It's no, because you're a stupid idiot. You don't know how to use a computer. That's why it's not working. And so Leslie was like, fuck no. I don't want to see these people anymore. And so when I told her, Leslie's not going to meet with you, but I'm going to meet with you, and she said, no, we're canceling the meeting. So she wouldn't meet with me, and Nancy wouldn't meet with me, but Isabel and I ended up meeting. We had a nice chat, but when it came push to shove, she's like, you know what, I'm going with the bigot appeasers, and I don't really care about anything else. And she's still, I'm certain, like I almost messaged her the other day about the lawsuit thing, and I'm just like, I'm sure she does not give a fuck because she's a weak personality without the strength of her convictions, and that's really sad because I thought she was a cool person.
Is it the thing that's like 5.5 minutes long?
Probably. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I don't know how deep into it they start talking about Leslie, but
I apologize. This is wonderful radio.
Anyway,
it doesn't matter.
Okay, cool.
You can still. They don't know how to delete shit. Here's the other thing: is they think that we're trying to sabotage them or something. I'm an admin on the website. I mean, I can't get in to change things on the website, but I can get in and add things if I want to because I still have that account. They have not shut that down. I'm an admin on their Facebook page. They can shut that down anytime they want. If I had wanted to, at any time over the past 5 months, I could have deleted it. I could have removed them as admins so that they can't even access it. And I could start posting meatspin.com on their goddamn website. If I wanted to tear them down like a child, which is what Alicia Gallegos does, I could have done it.
It would have happened.
I have no interest. I want these people out of my life because they are scum of the earth. I do not want to talk to them.
But they're doing it to themselves anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I looked at their. We all did. We all looked at their webpage afterwards, and there's nothing there. They haven't done anything. They're not broadcasting.
No.
They've done 2 shows since we left.
They shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah. They took the people who knew how to
And
do
we
things.
knew that. We knew that as soon as it happened. We were like, good luck. Have fun.
Yeah. Good luck trying to do anything. That's the other thing. It's like, what fucking damages are you going to sue for?
Yeah.
Right?
You haven't even managed to broadcast anything.
Yeah. You
And-
haven't tried to.
It'll never make it before a judge.
I know. It's like, you're so fucking stupid. How stupid do you think I am? You worthless, dried up sack of shit.
So how do you propose we get our stuff back? By
We
ma-
we
by-
can
by
do it.
writing
No,
the
no, we
letter?
don't have to do that. I mean, she'll buckle instantly. I mean, I would love it if she wouldn't. But yeah,
go
all we have to do is go down. I mean, well, you know, the main reason we don't have our stuff is not her fault. It's mostly just we didn't want to. No one wanted to talk to her.
I don't blame
We can go down there. We can, you know, and in fact, maybe we should because that would just kind of throw it in her face
Yeah.
at this point.
I really wonder if they realize, like, how this has been going. Like, if they realize that we're still doing this and we're still, like, recording every single week and,
Right.
you know, we actually have an audience. Holy shit.
And the interview we did with Matt at Dillahunty got more listeners than they have ever had in every single month that they were a thing. That one episode. And we do that every month.
Yeah.
So we're doing fine. We're all fine here. How are you?
Yeah. Okay, Han Solo.
Is Christian done screaming yet?
I'm done. I'm done.
Okay,
That's
I tuned you out. I've been looking through Facebook. I'm literally.
What's that say?
Why is it acceptable for you to be an idiot, but not acceptable for me to point it out? Which is funny because this is one of my theist friends.
Oh, really?
Who I genuinely believe
Can
is
I
an
type?
atheist. Have at it, my friend.
Really?
Okay.
You,
Go for it.
are you serious?
Go on.
All right. Wait, maybe we should crowdsource this. Okay, so there's a theist.
I mean, don't beat her up completely.
Oh, well then, fuck
okay,
you.
what
do you think I was gonna do? It's me. What did you think I was gonna type?
Just you is okay.
Okay.
No, but what I was about to say, and continue, do your thing,
Okay.
is that I am almost entirely certain that she is an atheist who is simply brainwashed, and she's just conditioned to be a theist by her really shitty parents.
Let's see, I gotta make this good because I only get one shot at using Jay's Facebook account.
You want the password?
Yes. Yes, I do. All right.
You're a funny guy.
Let me just point out that you believe in an invisible sky daddy.
No, don't say that you're going to get banned from South Texas politics.
It's not in South Texas politics.
I know, that's the point. That's the point. That's the joke.
That gives you presents if you ask often and nicely enough, you idiot. Enter. Can you screenshot that and put that in the Atheist Airwaves Facebook page, just so that we have proof that our post show is not bullshit.
Yeah.
All I say is I say we have a dance off, and I'm so down.
Yeah. Reb is wondering what the stats for the Dillahunty episode was.
Oh Jesus.
Where?
I don't even know what the up-to-date stats are. I'll have to post them somewhere. By day 3 we had hit 3,000.
Yeah. Because I know he retweeted
Atheist Airwaves?
my stuff.
Atheist Airwaves, yeah.
I don't want to post
There
the
it is.
name.
We can edit it.
Okay, we'll edit it later then.
We'll
Make
edit
sure
it.
I
Yeah,
put
do it later.
I know, because I know I tweeted about it. Dillahunty retweeted it. There were a
Yep.
bunch of other people that retweeted it. I posted it on Reddit. You know, like 3 different subreddits.
Yeah, we've never had as many hits to our website as we had the 3 days after
Yeah.
the Dillahunty event. Our Facebook page, our YouTube video alone had 1,000 to 2,000 views.
Yeah. Leslie says 646 downloads.
Right from our website, yeah.
From the website, yeah. And that's awesome because
So.
that really gives me hope for
Yeah.
future episodes. Yeah.
Yeah. From everything from Spreaker and some other places, it was
Yeah.
way up there.
Is
See,
that
that makes-
octopus in a jar?
What?
God
bless.
what?
Jesus penis, motherfucker, son of a dick.
Why are you trolling Leslie's?
It's not
page?
Leslie's page. It was on my. It was just on my feed.
If we get Johnny Fuckbag?
Everybody's talking about a sports thing. I
Johnny
don't know.
Johnny Manziel.
What the?
What is this shit on your fucking page? Whoa! That is the most racist motherfucking thing.
This?
Can I report that? Can I report that, please?
It's not even.
Oh, okay, I'll let it go. Okay, listener, that is racist. We almost had to report a friend of one of our listeners.
I don't know where the fucking octopus
All right.
thing.
Well,
went.
this is really boring. So let's
let's kill post show.
Let's
All right.
let's wind it up.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for hanging out. Lisa Gallegos, suck a bowl of, eat a bowl of dicks.
Suck
a bowl of dicks. Try not to suck any dicks on the way to the parking lot.
All right, guys. Bye. I just hit stop
Bye, y'all.
And then stop recording.
And then stop.